Oh, I wasn't live. I'm so unbelievably bad. There we go. I think we're live now. I think we're live now. I just sat here chatting to myself for 2 minutes. I am unbelievably stupid. I'm here now though. Okay, oh my god, why can't I hear myself? That's not good. There we go. Alright, hello everyone. Hello, I will answer all your questions in due time. I have been looking at some interesting results from the Free Practice 3. I can already see some questions coming in chat. We have Sorel asking, didn't see third Free Practice, how is Bottas' car? Well, the car looks fine. I think it's just the suspension that was broken, right? Michael, hello. Racing is Epic, hello again. Good to see you. Mint, good afternoon. CB, hello. A lot of people are looking at Alonso, right? A lot of people are looking at Alonso. We're going to discuss Alonso. We're going to discuss a few things. We're going to discuss Charles Leclerc. Do you think Alonso-Leclerc team is viable? We're going to discuss that. We're going to discuss that. LBJ, what's up? CB, will it get fixed and ready for quali? I think so. It doesn't look too bad. It just looked like it was a front suspension, so I can't imagine. I mean, the mechanics for Sauber haven't been the best, but I mean the wheel nuts wasn't really their problem, I guess. But I can't imagine that Bottas doesn't get it going until qualifying. Not that I think Bottas is a great pick anyway. Nice shirt. I am jinxing Charles Leclerc today. Holly Socks, hello. Hello Grant. Hugo, welcome. We have a middle emo. This is the emo we post when Max wins, inevitably, after qualifying. So if you haven't been here before, we're doing a deadline stream. We're going to talk about my team. We're going to talk about your teams. I'm going to be taking all of your questions. I think I'm going to use the Q&A feature today so that I can actually go through questions here, things like that. And then we are going to we're going to watch Monaco qualifying together. So yeah, that's great. That is great. I am hoping that everything is working. I found, yeah, excellent collection. We are good. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about, I've received some questions on the Alonso team because I think it's mainly because the F1 Fantasy Tools simulator after FP2 heavily favored Alonso. Also, whenever F1 Fantasy Tools posted their FP3 simulations out, someone has to tell me because I'm not going to pay attention to Twitter while I'm live. So you have to tell me if something happens, because I would love to know. Alright, super chat. Thank you so much, Michael. Let's go to yeah. I really want to get to the 1K. Thank you so much for the super chat, Michael. That means a lot. That means a lot. So let's talk about the Alonso, shall we? Let's bring up the F1 Fantasy Tools website and look at optimal teams. So I think this is the reason why a lot of people are talking about it. So let's go to a max budget of let's see. Oh, is it not here on? Where can you find the FP2 things? Hold up, let me find it. F1 Fantasy Tools. I looked at this before and now I can't find it because I'm live. That's classic. Classic. Let's see. Oh, it's on the team calculator. Let's see. Post FP2. Yeah, let's bring this over here. Boop. There we go. And then we do, what is 110 million, I think is about fair. I think a lot of people are at 110 million. I'm at like 109, I think. So what a lot of people have noticed is that Alonso is sneaking into some of these teams, right? And well, there he's gone now. But if is it on the cheaper teams that Alonso's popping up? No. What kind of teams is Alonso? Well, okay, so I've seen a lot of Leclerc Alonso lineups floating around, because Alonso did perform pretty well in free practice yesterday in free practice 1 and 2, but I did not see enough for him. 110.5 gives Alonso, yeah, 110.5 million gives Alonso. Recalculate. There you go. 110.4 million recommends Leclerc Alonso. 110.2. So there are teams recommending Alonso, but I think one of the key things you need to look at here is that Alonso's not dominating this, right? Leclerc is on every DRS boost available, right? It's even like Red Bull teams here instead of McLaren teams. So I think what you gotta look at, like, here you have a team that's 110.4, here you have a team that's 110.4, and this one is predicted to do better. The points is 216, the points is 209. It's just that the increase here in points, the increase in budget, and the increase in budget is worse here as well than this team. So the Alonso is possible, but with the exact same budget, with just two different picks in Gasly, Alonso, Sainz, Bottas, you could go and McLaren and Red Bull. So going with the Alonso team to reach similar point scores, you're going to run Red Bull. So I'm not personally sold on the Alonso team. And if I'm looking at my own team, it's almost guaranteed I'm going to bring in Leclerc. And I was looking at it, and then I could do this, right? But the reason I even have Lance Stroll is in there is because of budget. And it just feels wrong to switch it to Alonso, because I don't think Alonso is going to outscore Stroll by much unless Stroll crashes. So in one of those situations, I think that I'd rather just have Lance Stroll for the budget. And if you're going for a double B tier driver, I think you just gotta find a way to stretch it to Piastri, honestly. So personally, I'm not a fan of the Alonso pick. I think the results in free practice yesterday might have lied a bit. I don't think he's going to perform that well. He could perform well, you never know, but I personally don't trust Alonso. Let's go through some. Would you recommend dropping? Doug says, would you recommend dropping Bottas given his hit on the wall? Well, let's talk about it, right? So Bottas hit the wall, didn't get a lot of run in free practice 3. I think his car is going to be fine. I think he's going to fix the car. But I tweeted about this as well. So again, pretty much all of the stats that's directly related to F1 points is from F1 Fantasy Tools. You should follow them on Twitter. Check out their website. It's actually amazing. So, oh my god, what just happened? My computer said nope. There we go. So here, an interesting consequence, and these are like price changes predictions. And I talked about this in both of my videos that I posted this week. So if you haven't watched them, I'm going to repeat myself now. Considering the low amount of overtakes and positions gained, the amount of points scored will be very, very, very low, especially for C-tier drivers, who mainly rely on overtakes and positions gained to gain points. So, therefore, it's very likely that the C-tier assets are going to decrease in price, which means they're going to get less than half of the average score. And you can see this by looking at this here on the minus 0.1. This is what happens if they're if they get positive points but below half the average. So you can see here, then this is a percentage, right? So from Stroll downwards, you have a 60% chance that Stroll decreases in price, 62 for Gasly, 62 for Ocon, 58 for Albon, 61 for Sargent. Like, all of these assets are very likely to decrease in price. And if you're looking at the increases here, the 0.5, that's how a C-tier asset increases if there are above between 0.5 and 1.5 of the average score. You can see that the only ones really even breaking the 24-25, you have Stroll at 24%, Tsunoda at 25%, Ricciardo at 24%, Hülkenberg at 25%. You have Stroll at a 2% chance of a 1 million increase, and these are simulations based on the FP2 runnings, right? So because of this, Bottas is likely to start. I wouldn't rush to sell Bottas because he's likely to decrease in price anyway, right? So yeah, this table, essentially what this table is these are how much the asset is decreasing or increasing in price. These are the assets. And then this is the numbers here are percentage based, how likely this is to happen after the game, or after the race, right? So, for example, if you look at Max Verstappen, he is at a 50% chance to increase 0.1 and a 43% chance to increase 0.2, and then a 4% chance to decrease 0.7. That's if he crashes, pretty much, and then a 3% chance of going 0.0. That's if he ends up like P6, right? So looking at these numbers, you can see that all of the C-tier assets that's strolling down are above 50% chance to decrease in price. And I think we're going to see a lot, unless there's like 4 or maybe 5 DNFs, I think all of these assets decrease in price. It's very low chance. So selling Bottas, while yes, you could do that, and I might do that, for another C-tier asset, it's not going to matter that much. The main thing, if you're selling a Bottas or selling a Gasly or someone like that to another asset, is either you're trying to buy a high value C-tier asset, such as a Stroll, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, or Hülkenberg, who are the only ones even breaking the 25% chance increase in price. So those are like the 4 assets I would look to move towards. Or if you're like me and you might want to take a hit to get Sargent in so that you can afford these B-tier assets. Because look at the B-tier assets. They're like, Piastri, Leclerc, all of the B-tier assets. Norris is here because he's an A-tier asset, so he's 69% chance of a noise, by the way, 0.1 increase. But yeah, Piastri 68% chance of a 0.3 increase, Sainz 60% chance of a 0.3, Leclerc has a 56% chance of increasing 1 million. So I think by far the most important asset to own this week is Leclerc. Every practice session has looked this way, and I know it looked that way in Imola. I'm wearing the shirt, and it's going to jinx him. Max Verstappen is going to win, but if Max Verstappen wins and Charles Leclerc gets second place, Charles Leclerc is going to get driver of the day, and I think so, unless like Yuki Tsunoda ends up P3, right? So Charles Leclerc is very likely to get driver of the day if he ends P2. And he also looks likely to win the race. So I think Charles Leclerc is a must-have this week. I'm for sure selling Lando Norris. And in fact, to prove to you how dedicated I am to this move, I am going to lock that in right now. I'm locking this in right now because I have already decided there's nothing that can change my mind. Actually, I'm not doing that. What if like, I don't know, Leclerc gets sick, suddenly he gets a stomach bug and he can't race. I'm second guessing myself now. That's not gonna happen. He's racing. Alright, there we go. Boom, it's done. I've used my transfer. So that transfer is done, and now we just wait and see if I do any other transfer. Alright, I did it. Alright, Leclerc's in. Leclerc's in. We'll discuss what my other transfer, or transfers, I might take a hit, could be later on. So yeah, that's the stats on the increase, and that's the C-tier driver. So regarding the Bottas question, I don't think you rush to get him out. You could get him out. For example, I downgraded Norris to Leclerc, and now I could upgrade Bottas to a Kevin Magnussen or a Daniel Ricciardo. So I could do that, but I don't have to, and I don't think you should rush to get Bottas out. I think it's much more important to get Charles Leclerc in. So that's this table. This table is pretty fun. What else are we talking about? I've seen some questions about the no negative. I'm gonna get to your team specific questions a bit later. I have some points I want to go through first before I get to that. So Bottas or Sargent? Actually, I think Sargent, because Sargent is going to start P20 probably, and then 4 people DNF, and then he gets 4 points, and that might be enough for an increase. But I mean, he also might put it in the wall, so I don't know. I'm going to get to your team specific questions in a bit. I promise. Because I have like 20 tabs open because I want to show you something, and we're doing this paint style again. Are you ready? So you get to enjoy my disgusting handwriting. So I've received some question about the no negative chip, okay? And I don't think you should use your no negative chip, and this is why. So this is practice. Here we have Monaco 2023. Monaco 20. Oh no. Wait. Okay. Wait. So this. I'm trying to sort them. Yeah. Okay. So Monaco 2018. We have 3 DNFs. Monaco 2019. We have 1 DNF. That's 4. 2 DNFs in 2021. 3 DNFs. So that's 6. That's 9. And then 2 DNFs. So that's 11 in 5 years. 18, 19, 22, 21, 22, 23. So in 5 years, we've had 11. So that's an average of 2 and something DNFs. And the reason why I don't think you should use your no negative chip is because if we look at last year's sprint races, you have Austria, 1 DNF in the race, No DNFs there, so 1. Then you have Belgium. 2 DNFs there. 2 DNFs there. That's 4. That's 5 already. Then you have 3 DNFs in Qatar. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 DNFs in the Qatar sprint. You can see where I'm going with this, right? Then we have the United States Grand Prix. We have 3 DNFs in the race, and we have 1 DNF in the sprint. And then we have the Sao Paulo, Brazil. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 DNFs in the race, none in the sprint. Obviously, short, like small sample size, but okay, I don't even need paint to explain this. But basically, because of the change to the no negative chip, I think the no negative chip is just vastly superior in a sprint race, especially something like a Sao Paulo or Qatar that have had quite a lot of DNFs recently. So I think even if you're scared with someone like a Sargent, someone like a Stroll, I don't think you do a no negative this week. Leclerc DNF in most races, yes. That is scary. So yeah, MS Paint time, get your brushes everyone. So I don't know what that, so Monaco, let's do the red one. Monaco, average DNF in Monaco is like 2 point something, 2.x, right? And an average DNF in sprint, DNF, yep, ignore sprint, yep, okay, yep, average DNF in sprint. Monaco is very hard to write with the mouth. I looked this up later, but it is greater than 3. So because of this reason, no negative. There you go. Yeah, MS Paint. No negative. It's very hard to write with a mouse. Okay, it's very hard to write with a mouse. But that's what I wanted to show. Don't save. Get this out of my face. Let's just remove all of these old stats and old tabs. Yeah. So I don't think you should use your. I don't think you should use your no negative chip. That's what I was trying to say. And use notepad or word instead. I should, honestly, but it's funnier. It is funnier. It is objectively funnier. What chip strategy do you recommend? For Monaco, the only thing I would recommend is wildcard if you're looking to get to the best team possible, which is, well, I mean, I could just use something like this, right? It's probably this, right? Ferrari, McLaren, Leclerc, Sainz, and then whichever back markers you can afford. Or you go Piastri, Hülkenberg, Bottas. I know a lot of people are sitting on a lot of budget. If you're sitting on like 114 million, I mean, you're laughing in everyone else's face. Ferrari, McLaren, Leclerc, Sainz, Hülkenberg, Ricardo, or Hülkenberg. Yeah, I mean, I would go for this team for 114 mil. This feels like a no-brainer to me. Right? The Ferrari, McLaren, Leclerc, Sainz, Hülkenberg, Tsunoda, Bottas. I mean, you get Hülkenberg in there, you get Tsunoda in there. Yeah, you get Bottas, but I mean, it's Valtteri Bottas. It's a good move for you to change Tsunoda for Alonso. I just talked about Alonso, so you can actually go back to like 10 minutes ago in the stream, and I have all the Alonso questions there. I don't personally think Alonso is worth it. I think it's a trap. I think Stroll is just better. Alright, I feel my brain growing just looking at this. I agree. So, let's get to some questions from you guys on your teams. Before we do that, make sure to like the stream. That helps me out a ton. And subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. That would be kind of sick. And there's quite a few people here, so we could definitely make that happen. So, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. I have more content coming out. And let's get to some personal questions. Alright. Let's start with Megan. Megan says, thoughts on McLaren, Ferrari, Piastri, Sainz, Bottas, Sargent show. Contemplating to change Piastri, Sainz for Leclerc, Alonso. I think you would... I mean, I think Leclerc is almost a must-have at this point. But with those cheap assets, yeah, you can't change that in any way. I don't really like the Alonso change. but I also really like having Leclerc for this weekend. It's a close one. It's a very, very close one, Megan. Very, very close one. So let's go. Racing is epic. Responded to Calendori. Okay, current team. Is it worth a -10 for Leclerc Piastri teams? That is what I'm contemplating. Let's talk about that for a bit. I am contemplating that exact thing. So I've already, if you just joined me, I've already done one transfer. One of my free transfers, I did Lando Norris to Charles Leclerc. If I update my team, that is locked in already. So if Charles Leclerc gets sick now in the coming 2 hours, I will cry. I am jinxing him after all. So Charles Leclerc is in, and my option is to do, or the option that I have is to do this, right? And that would cost me -10. I do not know. I need to do some mental maths on this, right? So for one, I mean, for me specifically, I lose 2 pretty good C-tier assets in favor of a Logan Sargent and a Piastri. So I think we gotta look at that in isolation. We're all talking about Leclerc and Piastri, but I personally, since I'm taking a -10, and if you're taking a -10, ask yourself, what is the actual difference? So Leclerc is in no matter what, right? So the actual points difference we have is, or the asset difference is Oscar Piastri and Logan Sargent versus, for me, it's Stroll and Tsunoda. So let's use these numbers. These are numbers from these are price changes predictions after race simulations from the FP2 times, right? So Piastri has a 14% chance to just increase 0.1, and that is if he gets half the average, so 0.5 to 1.5 of the average score. And I think the average score, we're going to put the average score as 5. The average score in Imola was 6. So I think an average score of 5 for Monaco seems about right. So this is Piastri getting something like it's a 14% chance he gets somewhere between 5 and 15 points. A 68% chance he gets somewhere between 15 and 15 and 3 times the. Oh wait, I'm gonna. No. Wait. No, the average score is 10. The average score is 10. The 0.5 score is 5. The average score is 10. Sorry. I said that wrong. The average score, I'm guessing, is going to be somewhere along the 10 line. So you need 5 points to hit the half of the average to increase in price, right? That's correct. So Piastri has a 14% chance of scoring between 5 and 15 points, a 68% chance of scoring between 15 and 30 points, and a 12% chance of scoring above 30 points. That's how you read this, right? If we assume those averages. And then a 6% chance of scoring below that. And a negligible, So with those numbers combined with the Sargent's numbers, which 26 is he gets negative points, 61% chance he gets below 5, and then only a 12% chance that he is somewhere in the 5 to 15 point line, and a 0% chance that he gets above that. I think it is pretty clear compared to a Stroll and Tsunoda, which are both in the 25s here. Points wise, I think the Piastri Sargent, if Sargent doesn't DNF, I think Piastri Sargent beats them. It's just, will they beat it by 10 points? I don't know. I don't know. I believe the same will get updated with FP3 results very soon. I believe so too. I do believe so too. So let's do my thing here, which is 110 roughly. So the sorted by points, this is the exact team that I'm looking at, right? If I do a -10, this is the exact team I'm looking at. Compare that to a non-Piastri team. So it's actually recommending I don't run Stroll. It's saying Leclerc, Hulk, Rick, Tsunoda, Magnussen is better than Stroll. But I mean, it's essentially this team, but Stroll over Ricardo, and then Magnussen over Bottas, if I get Magnussen in. The points difference, it is not that big. Oh, that's Red Bull, actually. Let me change that up. Let's make sure that McLaren is in. There we go. McLaren, and then recalculates. So it's saying Alonso here over Stroll. Let's get Stroll in there just so we can compare. So this team again is what I'm looking at. The average, the projected points, 213. This is post FP2. We can look at the updated numbers once the FP3 results are out. Not yet. So 213 points, and then we go to the Stroll lineup, which would be something like this, right? I have Tsunoda. Yeah, this is the exact team that I would be running probably. Yeah. 197 points. So this projection, the FP2 projection, is saying that it's actually worth it to go for the... Oh, hold on. Why did that not work? Oh, it's on 100. 110, there we go. So this projection, the FP2 projection, is saying it's worth it to make the -10. To change from my team to the Sargent Piastri version. That's very, very interesting. That's very, very interesting. Where can I get this price change table? It's on f1fantasytools.com, and you go to Team Calculator. It's on the Team Calculators page. So, let's get Paint up again, because I love MS Paint. Not sponsored. So the Piastri Sargent lineup, what was it? At FP2, let's do free practice 2. Says that the free practice 2 simulations says an average points of 213.2 points for that team, correct? And then the price increase would be 1.75. So let's just do this. So $1.75. Ba-bum, ba-bum. And then arrow up. Is that, can you read that? Alright, and then the other option, the Stroll option, let's do it in green. So let's add Stroll to this team. Recalculate, and no, that was Alonso. No, that was Tsunoda. Yeah, let's do Tsunoda and Stroll. There we go. Recalculates. We have Stroll and Tsunoda and Magnussen. So this is like the team I would have, or this team. So let's do the best one of it. So 198.6. So it says 198.6 points with a budget increase of 1.64. 1.64 budget up. So the FP2 calculations is saying it is worth it to go from a team with Stroll like this to a team with Piastri. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. All right, let's do some more questions. That's not regarding my team. Racing's Epic says, if you wildcard and have 3 free transfers, do you keep the 3 free transfers in the next week, or does it reset to 2? It resets to 2, unfortunately. It resets to 2. So, yeah. I think if you're looking to do 4 transfers, I think you always wildcard if you have it. But this is saying it's worth it both budget-wise and points-wise, according to the FP2 calculations. I can't wait to look at the FP3 calculations. Does Hamilton or George seem reliable with Leclerc? I think no. Based on the FP3 results, I think no. And I discussed that in my team selection video, Emily Hollander. Akash says, budget of 100.9, got McLaren, Ferrari, Leclerc times 2, Piastri, Sargent, Hulk, Bottas. Is that optimal? Yes, that looks very, very optimal. That's exactly what I'm looking to go for. And I'm looking to take a -10 to get to that. Is this ideal for budget building in the future with this team? I think so as well. Maybe in the future in like Canada and places where there are easier places to overtake, you might not want, for budget, you might not want double B-tier drivers. Like you don't want Leclerc, Piastri, Leclerc, Sainz, because you want C-tier assets like Stroll instead, because they're going to overtake, they're going to get points. So budget building wise, I think in the future you might not want to go for the double B-tier. But in this race, when pretty much all C-tier assets are going to decrease in price unless there's like 4 or 5 crashes, I think it is very, very likely that the best budget building option is the double B tier. Would you do Sainz over Piastri if you could afford it? I think yes. Where can I get this? Yeah, I've already answered that. What's the best team for 112.9? You can go check it yourself. The website is free for that, so I'm not going to answer those specific questions. Hugo, with the 38 HK dollars. I have no idea what currency. Hong Kong, maybe? No? Hungarian? I have no idea, but thank you so much for the super chat, however much money that is so very, very kind of you. Thoughts on a Leclerc build, but with enough budget to final fix into Verstappen if he qualifies first? That is very, very interesting. We should discuss final fixing, because you could do this team. For example, I've already done the Leclerc. If I just now sell Lance Stroll or Yuki Tsunoda to Logan Sargent, I can then final fix after qualifying to bring in someone like an Oscar Piastri. So the final fix, and thank you so much for the super chat, Hugo. So we're going to discuss final fix in multiple different scenarios. Final fixing could be very strong here. I'm not saying it's not, but take it in a Charles Leclerc example. So say you have enough budget to go for a Charles Leclerc to Max or a Charles Leclerc to Lando, right? Because those are the 2 more expensive drivers that you might want to get. Maybe even a Checo, if Checo qualifies first, right? In that scenario, what is the points difference? How much are you gaining from that final fix? Because if you leave enough money in the tank, you can probably not get like a Leclerc Piastri, right? So you're probably sitting on something like this, right? Maybe you don't have Logan Sargent, maybe you do like I do and you don't do the second transfer and you're sitting on this. I don't think you can reach Verstappen on this, but you can reach Lando or Checo on this. So it goes about the same. But even if you're sitting on enough money to go to Max Verstappen, obviously your team is even worse. You won't have a Stroll. You might just have a Kevin Magnussen, right? Is this enough to go to Max? Yes, it is. Okay, exactly for me. So let's say I'm sitting with this team. What are you giving up by leaving budget in the what are you giving up? You're giving up a fantastic option in Piastri this weekend, specifically in Monaco, to maybe go for Max Verstappen if he qualifies first. But at what point is it worth using the final fix to change Leclerc? I don't think I'm using if Leclerc qualifies in 4th, I don't think I'm final fixing him to get Norris, Checo. Even if Sainz qualifies first, maybe, and Leclerc is like 4th or 5th. But the thing is, the final fix is just worth so much more when you can get someone like a Max, Lando, Checo, Leclerc, Sainz, Piastri, Hamilton, when they're starting like P20 with an engine penalty or similar later on in the season on a track where it's very easy to overtake. The final fix is worth so much in those scenarios that I don't think it's worth using it here most of the time, right? Most of the time. News Sims out. Okay, I'll look at that in a second. Thank you so much, Akash and Michael, for and Racing. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I'll look at that in a second. I'm just gonna finish this segment. So, if Leclerc, say Verstappen finishes first, and then Leclerc is second, you have left a Piastri on the table, which is a lot of points over someone like a Magnussen or Tsunoda, to just get like an extra, like 7 points. And that's only if Max Verstappen gets the fastest lap as well. Because if Leclerc finishes second, he's probably getting driver of the day. So I think the option of leaving money, especially for someone like a Max Verstappen, you're leaving so much on the table. If you're sitting on like Leclerc and say Piastri, right? And then a Sainz were to qualify first, and like Leclerc and Piastri are both out in Q1 somehow, or at least say Leclerc is out in Q1, and then Sainz qualifies in P2, right? Or Piastri or Norris or whatever, then it could be worth it. So again, if you have, let's just bring up, where's Tsunoda? I can't find Tsunoda. There we go. So if you have this team or if you have what I have, this team, right? And then Leclerc goes out in Q1 and like Sainz or Piastri is like P2, then it's worth it. And how likely is that to happen? I don't think that's very likely. So you're essentially betting by leaving money in the bank, a lot of money in the bank. I think 3.6 million is fine, but when you're leaving enough to go up to Max Verstappen, you're leaving so much money in the bank on the chance that Leclerc DNFs. Or like doesn't messes up in qualifying and is like out in Q1. Because I think even if Leclerc is like P3 or P4 in qualifying, I don't think you're using the DNF. It's not worth enough points, and it could be more valuable later. All right, so that is enough for that. Thank you so much, Hugo, for the question and for the super chats. That is very, very kind of you. So let us go to the new Sims. Oh, post FP3. Nice. There we go. Okay, let's do 110. Recalculate. What does the simulation say? It's saying the same thing as the strongest. What? Okay, I'm happy I wrote this down. Okay. It's actually favoring this team even more. The budget looks to be about the same. It says 1.74. Previously, it was 1.75. So I guess it's counting that Bottas is likely to be worse. Hello Juan. Hello Juan Camilo. Thank you for joining us. And then the new points. So let's do FP3. FP3. The orange one is the Piastri lineup. The average points now is 215. 215.3. And the budget increase is 1.74. And then if we go and we add Lance Stroll and McLaren to the team and recalculate, we should get a, well, let's see, I think this team, yeah, this is the team I'm most likely to be with. It now sets 201.8, so it's increased the value of Stroll from these calculations by quite a bit. So let's do, what is 201.8? 201.8 points. And a budget increase of 1.67. It's slightly higher. I think it's valuing Stroll slightly better because of the Aston Martin space. So these calculations say that the -10 is still worth it. Even with the FP3 place, we should probably do an average of these, but I can't be bothered. So with these numbers, taking a -10 should still give you 5 extra points by going over with a Piastri lineup, and it should increase your budget by slightly more. So is Carlos and Leclerc a good option? It's a great option. It's just not on my card because I cannot afford it. So if you can afford, let me look actually. So let me go back to this. If you're on that like 113 million, it's recommended Leclerc Sainz. So if you're on like 113 million plus, it's recommended Leclerc Sainz pretty much all of the time. So I think if you can afford Leclerc Sainz, I think you go for that over Leclerc Piastri. The thing with Leclerc Piastri though is that most people are sitting with Hülkenberg and Tsunoda. So if you have more budget, I don't think you like upend your team just to get Sainz in over Piastri, because it's most likely you already have like Hülkenberg and Tsunoda. So with Piastri you can keep those assets, which is really powerful, especially for the future. So I think points wise, I think the Leclerc Sainz looks better, but I would only go for it if you're wildcarding, because you kind of want to keep the Hülkenberg and Tsunoda assets for the future as well. So in isolation, I think Leclerc Sainz is really strong. But if you upend your team and remove Hülkenberg, remove Tsunoda, and all of those to have like show Bottas Sargent essentially, I don't think it's worth it. So yeah. New Sims completely different. All right. A lot of questions. I'm gonna try and get to as many of them as possible. I will for sure get your question through super chats, but I don't want to milk for them. I'm gonna go to get a drink because I can feel my throat begin to clog up, and I'll be back in like 30 seconds and go through some more of the questions. Thank you so much. 159 people watching right now, I think. That is a lot of people. That is a new record, personally. Leave a like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers because that would be kind of cool. So yeah, I will be right back. Alright, I am back. So, all the questions that you have, get them in right now. Calvin says, wildcard, Leclerc, Piastri, and someone like Hulk or Leclerc, Sainz, and the 3 cheapest. Personally, if that's your option, like Leclerc, Sainz, and the 3 cheapest, although I think Leclerc, Sainz will outscore Leclerc, Piastri this week, the margin is very, very small, and Piastri might as well just be ahead of Sainz in qualifying, you never know. And I think having things like Hulkenberg and Tsunoda is better for future races. And when wildcarding, you have to think of the future, you can't just think of this race in isolation. So I think I would go for Leclerc plus Piastri and some of the better C-tier assets, so you already have them, because you're gonna want to have them once we start getting to races where you can actually overtake. So I think that's the key there. So that's the question from Calvin Lanza. Thank you so much for being here. Racing says, what would you rather have, an extra 0.3 mil or an extra 8 points and an extra transfer for the next race weekend? I'm thinking the latter. So yeah, I'm assuming that's in regards to budget transfers, or an extra 8 points and an extra transfer for the next week. Yeah, I agree. Having an extra transfer next weekend would be very, very powerful. But I mean, personally, if it's gonna be close, which if I go for the -10 or not. I think I've pretty much written off the just make a transfer for the heck of it. So I think I'm either taking the -10 to get Piastri in, or I'm just leaving it as is. I don't think I'm doing a second transfer just to remove Bottas to K-Mag. I think it's better to just keep Bottas in that case. Thoughts on Piastri versus Sainz if budget is not an issue? I think if budget is not an issue, I think Sainz is better. But it's very, very close, and I think you need to have better C-tier assets going forward in the future. So yeah, that's my opinion on that. Malik, thank you so much for being here. Diego Eduardo says, hi, what's your opinion on Leclerc, Magnussen, Hulk, Tsunoda, Gasly or Ocon, Ferrari and Red Bull or McLaren? Looks strong. I mean, it looks strong. If you can't afford the double two, I think is really strong. I think Red Bull at this point is kind of an Red Bull Racing is almost a differential. So many people are running McLaren that I think I mean, it's really strong because Max Verstappen's probably going to win anyway. So yeah, looks really strong. You have really good C-tier assets, which will be very powerful moving forward. Just don't be too upset when they all decrease in price after Monaco. Steven Beto says, would you change Red Bull for McLaren if you do not have funds for a second premium driver? If you're doing two moves, if you're sitting on, let's bring up, I can't afford this. Let's imagine you have something like this, right? I don't think this is implausible. And you have two transfers. I actually really like switching McLaren and then getting, well, now you have Stroll, so you won't afford it, but you get what I mean. If you can do this in two transfers, I think it's really strong. So let's say you're already sitting on this, and this was like a let's do it properly this time. If you're sitting on something like this, right, and you have two transfers, doing Red Bull to McLaren so that you can afford to get a why can I not buy Oscar Piastri? I have 20.3 million. That makes no sense. There we go. That was super weird. Why can I not buy that? Yes, I think that's very strong for this race specifically, especially since McLaren is still below 25 million. So yeah, that's my opinion on that. Steven Beddoes, thank you so much for being here. Aporv says, should we go for Hamilton or Piastri, taking Ferrari and Mercedes as constructor? I don't think you go for Mercedes, personally. I think that's a trap. I think that's a trap. And I think Piastri over Hamilton. Hamilton looked decent yesterday, but I think they're so difficult to predict. So I think Hamilton and Russell are kind of bad. I'm sorry. I mean, not bad drivers, but bad assets in fantasy. I should note, I think Hamilton Hamilton plus Leclerc is probably better than a Leclerc plus 4 cheap drivers. Why you don't change Bottas for Magnussen, says Ruben. I've been thinking about it a lot. I've been thinking about it, and I think I'd rather have 2 transfers next week. So it's just about saving transfer, because I think both Magnussen and Bottas are going to decrease in price. I mean, we looked at this, right? These are FP2, but I think I would imagine it looks very similar for FP3. So the chance of Magnussen decreasing in price is 64 plus 19, which is 83%. So an 83% chance that Magnussen decreases in price, and Bottas, it is 62. It's 82, so it's almost similar. It's almost the same. So I think Bottas and Magnussen look like the same option for this race. So for that reason, I think it's better to save my transfer. The only reason I would use more transfers is to bring in Piastri. Which is the best chip to use in Monaco, says Vaishnev. I'm sorry if I'm missing your questions. There's quite a lot of them, and I do like to yap. I do like to talk a lot about each and every question. I don't want to just glaze over them. So if you didn't get your question responded, it's okay to leave them again. Vaishnev Prabhakaran says, which is the best chip to use in Monaco? I think the wildcard chip. I think every other chip is not worth it. The final fix could be really strong if your DRS boost driver goes out in Q1. But if Leclerc is like 4th and then you have Norris, Verstappen, and like Sainz 1, 2, 3, I don't think it's worth using your final fix. I think it's only worth using final fix if your DRS boosted driver goes out in Q1, because I think that could be a pretty big points difference. So if something like that happens, then the final fix is very powerful. I don't think you use your no negative. We talked about that earlier in the stream, so you can go back and watch that. Other than that is the wild card to get a Leclerc Piastri, Leclerc Sainz team going for the future. So yeah, let's see. Kashich says Show or Gasly with Bottas, Leclerc, Piastri, Hülkenberg, Ferrari, and McLaren. I mean, it almost doesn't matter. I think they're identical for this race. So I couldn't even choose one. I just lost where I was in the chats. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna skip a couple, so I'm caught up to people who are actually here, if you're still here. So let's go for Merab says Ferrari, Red Bull. Very hard to read without space in between, but Ferrari, Red Bull, Verstappen, Show, Bottas, Albon, Sargent. Do you think to go Leclerc / Hulk? Yes, I like that. I think Leclerc could be really, really strong here. I think he's likely to increase 1 million if he gets P1 or P2. So I really, really like that, Marab. Luis Felipe says Ferrari, McLaren or Ferrari Red Bull, same pilot team. I don't. It's very, very close. I think McLaren are better when they're below 25 million. Once McLaren goes above 25 million, I will be personally looking to get Red Bull back in. But it's very, very close. Let's see. Ashish says, going with Leclerc, Piastri, Hulkenberg, Bottas, Sargent, Ferrari, McLaren want to diversify at the top instead of 2 Ferrari drivers. Yeah, I think that looks really, really strong. I really like that. That is, I mean, yeah, that's exactly what the team I'm going for. If I'm taking the -10. Mackenzie says, first year doing fantasy Formula 1 team at the moment is Ferrari, McLaren, and Leclerc times 2, Hulkenberg, Tsunoda, Stroll, Albon. Any thoughts changing on this? Not really. It's looking really strong. If you haven't made a transfer yet, that looks very powerful. If you have any chance of getting to a Leclerc plus a Piastri team, we've already talked about how strong that looks to be for Monaco specifically. So if you have 2 transfers, I would look to do something like that. I don't know what your budget is, Mackenzie, but I really, really, really like that team. And you don't have to make a transfer. Personally, I'm not a fan of Albon. I think Williams are kind of stinking the place out, and even in the future, I don't think Albon is going to be that strong. But I wouldn't make C-tier adjustments. C-tier being drivers below 15 million. I wouldn't make adjustments on those drivers if you're not aiming to get to someone like a Piastri. So, yeah. Looks really strong, Mackenzie. Let's see. Mirabai answered that questions. Holy Socks says, which C-tier under 9.5 drivers look good? I've talked about this a bit, but I think the main ones in this race, and we're looking at these numbers again, those drivers that can qualify and put it pretty high up. So we have Stroll, a 26% chance of increasing in price. And if they're increasing price, imagine they're like 5 points and above for this race, right? Or 6 points and above. So I think Stroll at 26%, I think Tsunoda 27%, Ricciardo at 25%, and Hulkenberg at 26% are the ones to look out for this race in particular. I think all the other drivers are just not worth it at all. I mean, obviously you might have to have someone, you know, like I'm stuck with a Bottas right now, but know that your Bottas, your Albon, your Gaslys are probably going to decrease in price after this race, even if they don't crash. Let's see, which driver you think in C-tier is best to make money for this race? It's those. In races where you overtake, it's Magnussen and Stroll. So Magnussen and Stroll are best to make money. But since they can't overtake, for this race, it's Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, Stroll. Racing's Epic says, new sims are saying Red Bull Racing will score 11.5 points more than McLaren. Yeah, I believe it. I don't hate that. But I mean, the point difference is very, very small, and considering McLaren is still below 25 million, I'll take my chances with McLaren personally. It allows me to afford the Leclerc Piastri team. I don't think most people can afford. How much is Red Bull Racing? Red Bull Racing is 28.8 million. If you can afford Leclerc, Piastri, and then Ferrari, Red Bull, I mean, you're in a different league. So I think McLaren allows you to get to Piastri as a second B-tier driver most of the time. Jaman says, thoughts on Leclerc, Piastri, Tsunoda, Sargent, Bottas, Ferrari, McLaren. Looks really, really strong. That's almost exactly what I'm going for, but I can't afford Tsunoda in there, so I'm going to have Hulkenberg. Looks fantastic. I wish I could have Tsunoda with that team. Nico says, I've signed Stroll, Bottas, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, Ferrari, Red Bull to swap. What's your opinion? I think Leclerc is almost a must-have for this race. He looks so on it. So I would either do like Red Bull to McLaren and then Sainz to Leclerc, or like keep Ferrari, Red Bull and do like Sainz to Leclerc and like Stroll to Ricciardo maybe. If you don't have any money in the bank to do Sainz to Leclerc. Brick Wall Productions says, suppose Leclerc completely loses it in quali. I use final fix. Am I stuck with a -20? Yes. If he doesn't get any points, you're still stuck with the qualifying points. So if you have a driver that qualifies in P9 and then you still get those 2 points, those quali points are completely locked. So that's why, like, the only reason I would use so you're stuck with the -20 there, which sucks. Is it -20 for not? I don't think it's -20 for quali. I can't remember. Wait, how to play? Let's look at the rules live on stream. Game rules. What's the point scoring if you don't qualifying? No time set is -5. So you're only stuck with -5 for Leclerc. But yes, you're stuck with that if you final fix. Thank you so much for being here, Brickwall Productions. 164 people in the chat right now. Leave a like on the stream. That helps me out a ton. And if you enjoy it, please subscribe. I'm going to try to do a deadline stream for every deadline going forward, because this is really, really fun. Fantasy podcast says, any chance on a max build-up, or should I use the 3 transfers for Leclerc plus Piastri and take -10? I don't think you'd go for a max team now. I think Leclerc Piastri looks really, really strong. I would do what I did. So I looked, if you go onto the team calculator on F1 Fantasy Tools, you can enter your budget here and look at the what the best possible team is and what the Leclerc. So I'm gonna enter my budget, which is like 109.9, right? So 110 million. And this is the team that comes up for me as being the best for points and also the best for value. So look at this team. What is the projected points and projected value? And then you look at the other team when you don't take the -10 and you compare. Is the -10 worth it? Currently, so this is the FP3 standings, or FP3 simulations. This is the team I will have without the -10. Gives me 201.8 and an average increase of 1.67. So the simulations from FP3 is saying I should take the -10. I haven't decided yet if I'm doing it. So I would look at that and look at your team in isolation before you do any hits. So go on to F1 Fantasy Tools and do that and look at what you actually gain by taking the -10. But as for Verstappen teams, I think we should look towards building Verstappen teams in Austria. But for now, I don't think Verstappen is worth it. I think you kind of need to gain some budget quickly now. So I think that Leclerc plus Piastri is way stronger than a Verstappen as a single. Even if Verstappen wins, I think Leclerc Piastri can outscore him. Tsunoda versus Stroll is very, very close. It depends on what your other assets is, but just in a vacuum, I think Tsunoda looks better for Monaco. I think Stroll looks better going forward, because Stroll, with his price increases, just is so powerful on tracks that can overtake. But for Monaco specifically, in isolation, I think Tsunoda looks better than Stroll. So thank you for the question, Michael Page. Let's see. We have 1 hour exactly until the deadline is up. So that is exciting. Let's see here. Oh, I missed this from Hugo. Sorry. You said if you have Stroll already, it's not worth swapping for Alonso. I don't think so. Sorry that I missed that, Hugo. Thank you so much for the super chat again. Sorry that I missed that. It must have been when I was away, or I was deep in thought. So very sorry that I missed that, Hugo. Thank you so much for another super chat. I think so. I don't think it's worth going for Alonso. Maybe get a few points, but I don't think Alonso is going to put it P5 or above. I think he's probably looking at like a maximum of a P7. So for that reason, I think Lance Stroll is just better, because Lance Stroll is better going forward. I wouldn't swap Lance Stroll for Alonso. I'd rather save the transfer for next week. So thank you so much for the super chat, Hugo, and the question. Let's go back to chat. I can't see it. All right. Or maybe it just popped up actually. Oh yeah, it did just pop up. Yeah, I'm so far up in the thing. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Kari. Yes, I am so cool right now. I'm being so cool right now. Let's see. Vame says, I have Leclerc, Norris, Bottas, Show, Sargent, McLaren, Ferrari. Do you think I should do autopilot? No. Ooh, it's close though. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Leclerc and Norris. How good did McLaren look? I actually haven't looked how far away McLaren looked to be from Ferrari. I think it's not a bad shout, but the point difference is not that crazy unless a crash happens. The autopilot is very, very difficult. So the thing with the autopilot is that you can use it in a lot of races where you have two premium drivers in. So You can use it now, but it's also going to be valuable going forward. And I think for this race, since almost everyone is going Leclerc, it's very safe going for Leclerc 2 times. So actually, I wouldn't use my DRS boost now because you can't. No, not DRS boost. I wouldn't use the autopilot now because so many people are going Leclerc after the practice sessions that even if Leclerc does poorly, it's not going to hurt your rank. So I think it's very, very safe to just put the DRS boost on Leclerc and then use the autopilot in a future week where it's looking like people are using different assets across the board. Samarth says, should I go with Verstappen, Leclerc, and other seater drivers, or Leclerc, Piastri, Alonso, and others being seater? What is your budget? How can you afford that? I don't know. I haven't even thought of that possibility. Verstappen, Leclerc for sure. I think it's not worth going Alonso there. If you can afford like Leclerc, Piastri plus Sainz, that's another question. But Verstappen, Leclerc is insane. What? How can you afford that? What's your budget, Samarth? Have I? Yeah. All right. Sorry. Let's see. What else do we have? Where was I? No worries. We're all getting excited asking questions. Yes, there's a lot of questions popping in. So I'm very sorry if I don't get to your questions. I will definitely get to all super chats now. I promise that. Thomas Mathis, is it smart to use a no negative chip this weekend because it's more likely that someone crashes? We talked about this earlier in the stream, so you can go back and watch the exact numbers. But basically, it is not, because the no negative chip has changed and is so much more valuable in sprint weekends. The average DNF in Monaco over the past 5 times we've raced there is like 2 points something. And the average DNFs in a sprint weekend, which now matters, is like 3 points something. So for sure, save your no negative for Qatar or Brazil, I would say. Both Qatar and Brazil have pretty high DNF rates. So I would not use the no negative this weekend. Parsival says, I've got Sainz, Piastri, Bottas, Show, Sargent, Ferrari, McLaren. Do you have any recommendations of what to change? No, looks great. If that is your team already... Oh, yeah, you have Sainz, Piastri. Is there any way to get to Leclerc, Piastri? Probably not. You have Bottas, Show, Sargent. That's the cheapest. Ooh... I mean, I really, really like Leclerc this weekend, but I guess you just gotta be a Leclerc hater, I guess. For the rest of the weekend, just be a Leclerc hater and pray. Sainz Piastri is still strong, but I think Leclerc is going to take drive of the day if he's P1 or P2, and it's looking likely that he is P1 or P2. So try to get Leclerc in there, but I don't know what you sell. Do you just sell Piastri to Stroll? I don't think you do. I think Sainz Piastri is stronger than Leclerc Stroll, but I have to look into it. Akash says, I have Leclerc ×2, Magnussen, Hulkenberg, Albon, Ocon, Ferrari, Red Bull. Have 2 swaps available. Any suggestions, please? Hard without knowing budget especially, but maybe... like if you can with 2 transfers get to Leclerc Piastri, then yes. Let's build your team real quick. What is it? Magnussen, Leclerc, Magnussen, Hulkenberg, Albon, Ocon. So you have Ocon and you have Albon. So can you, and then you have Red Bull here. So can you do Ocon and Red Bull Racing to McLaren and Piastri? Probably not. Probably not unless you're super rich. It's one of those where you have to look if the -10 is worth it. I did the same thing before, so use the team calculator on F1 Fantasy Tools, put in your current budget, look what the optimal team with Leclerc and Piastri is, how much money will that gain you, how much points will that gain you, and then you look at your team and is it worth taking a -10. So with 2 transfers, I would only look to do... since you don't have Tsunoda, if you're only doing 1 transfer, I would do Ocon to Tsunoda. I would do Albon to Tsunoda if I could, and if not Albon to Tsunoda, I would do Ocon to Tsunoda. And in that, if you and then you take that team, you put it into the calculator on F1 Fantasy Tools, and then after that you compare it and look if it's stronger than the Piastri team. And if you have to take a -10, if you have to take a -20, it's probably not worth it. You probably just get Tsunoda in because Tsunoda's better than Ocon for this week. But yeah, that's what I would do, Akash. That's actually a very interesting situation you have with 2 swaps available. So thank you for the question. That was a really fun one. Let's see. 168 people. Don't forget to like the stream. It helps out a ton. I'm going to get to as many questions as I possibly can. Magnussen or Show? Magnussen for sure. Verstappen is banned, by the way. Oh, running Ferrari, McLaren. Leclerc, Sainz, Hulkenberg, Show, Sargent. What about McLaren to Red Bull and Sainz to Alonso? I personally don't like Alonso as an asset. I think no, I think what you have is good. I think the Leclerc, Sainz, Hulkenberg, Show, Sargent looks good enough. I wouldn't change Sainz to Alonso to get Red Bull in. I guess if Red Bull sweeps the fastest pit stop category, but considering McLaren as an asset is below 25 million, I would keep McLaren. I'm personally going to keep McLaren until they're 25 million, and then I'm getting Red Bull back in. Is it worth using Lewis as the second premium driver instead of Oscar? I don't hate it, especially not for Monaco. For the future, definitely not. But for this race, if you have to and you can get to it with free transfers, I don't hate it. Just because I think it's better than having C-tier assets. Yeah, even though I'm expecting Piastri to outscore Lewis. Thoughts on why Sims are saying anyone at 13.5 should be looking at Red Bull, Ferrari, Leclerc, Hamilton, and abandon McLaren altogether? No, I don't know why the Sims are saying that, but I don't think they're correct. I think that's a bait, personally. I think. Okay, I think the reason why is because with 113.5 you can't afford Red Bull, Ferrari, Leclerc, and Piastri with whatever other assets you have. Or am I stupid? Let's look. 113.5 calculates. Oh wait, I have McLaren boxed. Let's or ticked. Let's do this. There we go. Yeah, so it's saying Leclerc, Hamilton, Hulkenberg, Bottas, Stroll, but I'm pretty sure if we go up to like 115. It's going to change. It's going to be Ferrari, Red Bull, Leclerc, Sainz, Leclerc, Piastri. Yeah. So the only reason that 113.5 is saying Hamilton is because you cannot afford those. So the Ferrari, I think it's because they think Red Bull is going to be way better than the McLaren asset in terms of points. But I think it's worth it to stick with McLaren until the 25 million just for the budget gains. So I think that's the reason, Caps fan. And I do think they're correct. I think Red Bull is very likely to get the fastest pit stop points. I've talked about this in my videos 100 times. So in that case, I do think Red Bull will outscore McLaren, but since McLaren's below 25 million, which is the watch my video about how price changes work and you'll understand it. Jesus Christ, water time. Oh my god. Thank you so much for all the support, guys. We are still at 160 viewers on like average. This is honestly incredible. Honestly incredible. Thank you so much for all the comments and all the engagements. Don't forget to like the stream. It helps me out a ton. Kari says, what would be the overall best team for this weekend in theory if one had an unlimited budget? Well, if you're using your limitless chip this week, Kari, the best team... I mean, we can just, I mean, no one has 140 million. I think you could afford everything with that. Now let's look at, if you have a 300 million budget, it's still recommending Charles Leclerc over Verstappen. Very interesting. The simulations are saying Leclerc is going to win. So I think this is the team you go for. They don't like Perez. But... I think it's these four assets for these 6 assets for short, and then it's Piastri or Perez, your choice. But I also think you shouldn't use your limitless in Monaco. Actually, maybe you should use your limitless in Monaco. That might not actually be a bad idea, because the calculations say that it's better to use your limitless in a single game week. Or a single game week in a single race weekend rather than a sprint race. So perhaps if you have your limitless, you might actually want to use it in Monaco. It might not actually be a bad idea. McLaren over RB, Gurav, I've talked about this a ton. McLaren for the budget, but Red Bull for the points. Once McLaren hits 25 million, I think everyone should switch to Red Bull. So thank you for the question, Kari. Hussein says, bro, I have said Sainz, Bottas, Hulkenberg, Stroll. I have Sainz, Bottas, Hulkenberg, Yuki, Stroll with Red Bull, Ferrari. What to do? I only have 2 changes with 109.3 million. I think it's very easy to just go for Leclerc over Sainz, and then you go Red Bull Racing to McLaren. I personally like that a lot because Leclerc's looked so on it so far, and going McLaren is very, very safe. Yes, they might score less than Red Bull, but I don't think the score is going to be that big. The difference is only like 11 or 12 points according to the calculations, according to the simulations. So Evie, I'll get to that. The math is very, very interesting. So the what was I saying? Yeah, I think it's very safe to go for McLaren because you can so easily switch back to Red Bull because McLaren is so likely to increase in price. So I think it's very safe to switch from Red Bull Racing to McLaren and then just switch back to Red Bull Racing after 2 races once McLaren has hit 25 million. Okay, so let's talk about the Limitless, because I actually think the Limitless might be good in Monaco. I completely forgot about this. Let's find it on F1 Fantasy Tools. Essentially, because in a sprint race there's so many chances for overtakes, the C-tier assets, the cheap assets, Sonoda, the Hulkenbergs, all of those, are so good. Okay, I'm gonna have to scroll so far back on F1 Fantasy. They tweet so much, right? F1 Fantasy Tools. But essentially, the difference between you playing your Limitless, getting all the best drivers, and someone who sticks with their cheap drivers, the points difference is not that big because, like, the points you get in a sprint race is so low. So, for example, Max Verstappen qualifies in first, ends in first. He gets 8 points in a sprint weekend for the sprint race. 8 points. Magnussen starts in P13. Oh, Magnussen starts in P17 and climbs to P13. That's 4 overtakes and 4 positions gained. Magnussen and Max Verstappen just gained the same amount of points in the sprint. So because of that reason, the difference between a Limitless team and a team with cheap assets, the difference in points is smaller for a sprint weekend than in a single race weekend, where those assets cannot overtake as much and you don't have a sprint race, right? So because of that reason, I mean, China was an outlier because you had things like Max Verstappen starting further back and had to climb in the sprint race. So if you're watching a sprint qualifying and you see that all of the assets that you want on your Limitless are qualifying pretty badly in the sprint race or the sprint qualifying, then it's better to use the Limitless there. But if, like, you want to run Verstappen, Norris, Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, and they qualify 1 through 5, it's actually better to do it in a single sprint race, or a single race weekend. Sorry, I'm talking so fast here. And because of that, and because of everything we've talked about Monaco, where, like, Monaco, the thing about Monaco is that none of the, like, all of the bad assets, well, not bad assets, but all the C-tier assets are bad in Monaco because they're not going to get overtakes. I think the points difference between those top assets and the bottom assets are massive, like truly gigantic. So I think if you have the possibility of using your Limitless, I honestly might consider doing it. It's very scary to do in Monaco because you don't want people to crash when you are popping your Limitless, but yeah. So the maths actually support, unless the best assets start further back in the sprint qualifying, it's actually better to Limitless in a single weekend. And we learned this after Miami, where most of us use our Limitless. So for next year, I'm actually looking to use my Limitless in a single game week, single race week. I keep saying game week. I'm so Fantasy Premier League coded. Another thing with that, though, is because of the new sprint formula, you can look at the sprint qualifying before locking your team, which is very, very powerful. So if you still have your Limitless, you might want to use it for Monaco, but you also might want to hold it for Austria and see what happens in the sprint qualifying in Austria. And if the sprint qualifying is, you know, the 5 assets you want qualify 1 through 5, then you don't use your Limitless, and you then use it in a single race week sometime forward. Maybe in, like, Singapore or something. What do you think about using autopilot? I don't think it's that strong this week because most people who are looking to use autopilot have Charles Leclerc, and so many people are DRS boosting Charles Leclerc that it's very safe to DRS boost Charles Leclerc. So because of that reason, there's going to be so many races in the future where using your autopilot ship will be valuable. So I think in this race week where almost everyone is DRS boosting Charles Leclerc, I think it's a waste to use the autopilot here. I guess if Charles Leclerc crashes and you have a Piastri, it could be very strong, but it also could just be wasted. So I think you should do it in a weekend where there are many different DRS boost options. Like, there's a lot of people on Max Verstappen, there's a lot of people on Charles Leclerc, there's a lot of people on Lando Norris, there's some people on Sainz, maybe Mercedes gets an upgrade, and some people are on Hamilton. You know, like, in those situations, I think it's very strong to use the autopilot. So, can you give me a Merc and Ferrari constructor build, 111 budget, please, says Oliver. I would just look at F1 Fantasy Tools. You can go to F1 Fantasy Tools, enter your budgets, which was it, 111 million? And then you just select that you want to run Mercedes. I personally wouldn't run Mercedes, but I would run McLaren instead. But you can calculate what you will get with this. So this appears to be the strongest here. The best option at 111 million is Ferrari, Mercedes, Leclerc, Piastri, Hülkenberg, Tsunoda, Shaw. Not a bad team. Looks pretty good. Let's see. Sonny says, thank you. No worries. Thank you so much for being here and asking questions. Sam says 110.8. What would be the best team? Look it up. Look it up yourself on F1 Fantasy Tools. My Jetto says my team is Leclerc, Sainz, Hulk, Bottas, Tsunoda, McLaren, Ferrari this week. Total budget 114. Oh, that looks very, very powerful. You get Hülkenberg, you get Tsunoda, you have McLaren, Ferrari, Leclerc, Sainz. I mean, you're living my dream life. Grant says, are you still gonna take the minus 10 hits? Got your exact team, but I've got to take a show over Hulk. I haven't decided yet. I suppose I should decide that soon. These are the numbers. This is what I should add. Some things here. But yeah, so this is the Piastri lineup. And this is the Stroll lineup. And with a minus 10 to get the Piastri lineup in, I supposedly gain 3 points. So, supposedly. Flinty says, thoughts on budget of 107.4, Leclerc, Stroll, Hülkenberg, Tsunoda, Show, Ferrari, McLaren, Mag over Stroll. No, for Monaco I would go with Stroll over Mag for sure. I would probably look to get Mag in next weekend. But at 107.4, I don't think you can afford Leclerc Piastri lineup, so that looks really, really strong. I'd probably just stick, honestly. You have Stroll, Hülkenberg, Tsunoda. Those are three of the best 4 options for C-tier assets. I really like that. What do you think about both Mercedes drivers? Says Friendly Potato. I don't like them. I don't hate them, but I don't like them. If anything, I'd like them somewhat in Monaco. I like them more than someone like a Lance Stroll. But yeah. Is there a way to see best budget building teams on Fantasy Tools? Yes, it's super easy. All you do is, instead of clicking on the points here, you just click on this. And the best budget building team is also this, apparently. So yeah, you just click this one. Because this one calculates the budget increase, so that you just go by your yeah. Make sure you have price change predictions ticked. Speaking Swedish here, and then you just enter in your budget. So say your budget is 107 million. You just recalculate, and boom, it's saying that it's Ferrari. Oh no, it's the Mercedes ticked. Yeah, make sure you don't have that on, and then recalculate. You go to Monaco post FP3. And yeah, so the best apparent budget building team for like 107 million is Ferrari, V-Carb, Leclerc, Sainz, Tsunoda, Hülkenberg, Stroll. So you see, the simulations does some crazy things sometimes when you do that, but those are the best budget building teams. What do you think about Sainz times 2 and Leclerc times 3? I don't like it because you definitely want to use your triple DRS boost on a sprint weekend. So, unfortunately, I don't like that TDVN. Serki says, thinking doing the latter, sim saying Red Bull Racing, McLaren Ferrari or Red Bull Racing Ferrari. Red Bull Racing Ferrari looks better for points, but considering McLaren still is below 25 million, I like the McLaren asset more. The difference is not enough for me to want to make a transfer, if that makes sense. So I'm sticking with McLaren until they're 25 million. Once McLaren hits 25 million, I will immediately look to switch to Red Bull, for sure. For sure. Daniel says, should I keep Bottas or put in Magnussen? I mean, you and me are in the same spot, and I think if I look at these numbers right here, if you look at Magnussen's percentage chance to decrease in price, it is 83% chance, and Bottas is at 82% chance. So they are very, very. Oh no, am I 83 and 82? Yeah. So they are very, very similar. I don't think it's worth making a transfer. For this weekend, I think Bottas and Magnussen, same. For future weekends, when you can actually overtake, I mean, Magnussen is obviously the better option then, right? Adit says, mate, my lineup is already Leclerc, Tsunoda, Stroll, Mag, Hulk, Ferrari, McLaren. Any suggestions? If you can get to Leclerc, Piastri in 2 moves, I would do that. If you cannot, which I don't think you can, maybe you go Magnussen to Ricardo, because I mean it's a very, like, I would honestly just roll it, but apparently Ricardo has a slightly, these are FP2 results, this is not FP1 numbers, FP3 numbers, sorry, but Ricardo looks slightly better than Magnussen for this weekend. So if you have 2 transfers and you just want to use one, I would probably do that, and then unless you can get to a Piastri lineup in 2. Same questions as Jonathan. Jonathan says, thoughts on Piastri over Sainz? I think Piastri over Sainz, they're very, very close. I think Sainz look better, but if you have to get worse C-tier drivers, I think Piastri plus Hülkenberg is better than Sainz plus Show, right? So for that reason, I think I like Piastri more. And also, most of us are already sitting on like Hülkenbergs, on Tsunodas, things like that. So it's easier to get to a Piastri team rather than a Sainz team. So for that reason, I do like Piastri a bit more. But I think Carlos will. It's very, very close. It's very, very close. MHDNK said, how is mine? Leclerc, Piastri, because Piastri rather than Leclerc, Piastri, Tsunoda, McLaren, Ferrari. I mean, it looks fantastic. I wish I could afford that. Looks really, really strong. Sorry, I gotta breathe for a second. Not sponsored by Coke Zero. I wish. Benjamin says Sainz versus Hamilton versus Piastri. I think the order for this weekend is probably Sainz, Piastri, Hamilton, but I think Sainz and Piastri is very, very, very close, and I think it depends on what your budget is and what your other drivers are. So, yep. I don't think Hamilton is in the same conversation as Sainz and Piastri. Ooh, YG says, the only way for me to put Leclerc is to switch from McLaren to Mercedes. Do you think it is worth it? No, I don't think so. You just have to be a Leclerc hater and pray he does bad. I'm assuming you have Sainz in. I probably wouldn't do that switch, no. William says, Leclerc, Tsunoda, Ocon, Show, Hülkenberg, Red Bull, Ferrari. With this team, will it be smart to use a no negative chip? No. I've discussed this earlier in the stream, that I don't think it's worth using the no negative chip currently. I think the no negative chip is so strong in sprint weekends. I would save my no negative for either Qatar or Brazil. LBJ says, Rain, for a fun lineup, would you go with Hamilton or Alonso? I mean, it's a spicy one for sure. I don't hate it. I like it more than C-tier assets, but I think the Piastri Leclerc lineups are better. Holy Sock says, what are your thoughts on having either Gasly or Magnussen? By the way, bro, you're super helpful for fantasy. Love your channel. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Gasly or Magnussen? I think Magnussen's just better, but they look equally bad for this weekend. Piastri Piastri Leclerc autopilot? No, Noah. I think autopilot is not worth it this weekend. Ashish says Norris got a penalty. FI document released. Where? I need to look into that immediately because that is very, very interesting. If that is the case, where can we find this? Norris penalty. Let's see. Where can I see this? Is this confirmed? Sorry, not penalty, reprimand, which means it's just a warning, right? It's not going to impact his position. Oh, he got a reprimand. Okay. Ash says, I have a feeling Yuki will do something insane. I fully hear you. No grid drop. Okay, no grid drop. Okay, good. Did Bottas get a penalty? I don't think so. I don't think Bottas got a penalty. Okay, so what is the actual 105.3? So the difference on a -10 is like an average of 3.5, and I'm running Sargent. Is Bottas's car fixed? I think so. It's not confirmed, but I think it's gonna get fixed. Reprimands mean nothing. Second reprimand of the season. Yeah. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna do the -10. Oh, I've been sitting here the entire time saying Ricardo Magnussen. For this weekend, Ricardo, otherwise it's always Magnussen. But Ricardo has a higher chance of qualifying high, I think, says Jeremy. Thank you so much for being here, Jeremy. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, so for me, the decision now, it's 30 minutes to deadline. So let's do a few more chat questions, and then I need to think about my own team for a second. So, Prasanjit says, my budget is 114.7. I'm stuck between McLaren versus Red Bull and Sainz versus Piastri. I want to hold on to the wild card, but if I need, should I take the -10? I wouldn't take the -10 for those switches specifically, because I don't think the points difference between those assets is going to be big enough. So I would just stick instead of using the -10 if I were you. Let's see. Vedant says, love your channel, man. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Vedant. You all should do as Vedant and like this stream. That helps me out a ton. We're doing a watch along of the qualifying as well, so if you want to stick around for that, that will be fun. Grant says, yeah, I'm iffy about the -10. I'd rather swap Bottas for Ricardo Magnussen just to roll a transfer over. I think I answered the question before, but yes, I agree. I think I agree. MHD Nick or NK says, Bottas not gonna reach. Don't know what you mean by that, sorry. Blizzard says best mid drivers. Yeah, I hear you, Blizzard. I hear you. No, best mid drivers. I'm assuming with best mid drivers, you're talking about drivers in the B tier. So drivers between 25 and 15 million, or do you mean C tier drivers below 15 million? But I think best B tier asset is Charles Leclerc. Best C tier asset is Tsunoda, Hülkenberg, Stroll, and Ricciardo. C tier, yeah. For best C tier, I think it's Tsunoda for sure, number 1, and then you have like Hülkenberg and Ricciardo and Stroll sort of evenly below that. Is the team on the screen the team you're going with? Well, we're going to discuss that in a second, Brickwall Production. Let's see. Albon or Show is very close, but I prefer Show. I think Williams are pretty stinky right now. Thank you for the question, David. And then Lokesh says Norris or Piastri, and Aston replaced with RB or Haas. That's a new question. Yeah, Aston replacement immediately. Aston are now above 15 million, so they're probably the worst asset to own in the game. I think RB for this race for sure. RB looks pretty strong, and I think Tsunoda could do something pretty spicy. Between Norris and Piastri, I mean, probably Norris. But I would have Leclerc. So, but yeah, I guess if you already have Leclerc and you're looking for the second option, like Leclerc, Norris, and then you have like Ferrari, RB. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I like it. Gasly or Ocon in Monaco. I mean, they could switch cars and I wouldn't notice. They're the same driver in my opinion. Fantasy wise, they're the same driver. Leclerc's no look at his home race. Still go for Leclerc. I mean, you have to. You have to. He's looked so strong so far. Bottas penalty. Not that I've seen. I don't think so. What are best B tier drivers aside from Leclerc? Norris is now an A tier driver. Since he's above 25. I think it's Leclerc number 1. Then I think, because of the budget, is Sainz and Piastri second. Shared. They're very, very close. I literally cannot decide between them two. And then Checo is probably third. If Checo was like 21 million, I think it would be closer between Checo, Sainz, and Piastri. But because Checo's a bit more expensive, he drops down a bit. And then after that, it's probably Hamilton and Alonso. And then George Russell is my least favorite B tier assets. Swap Verstappen for Leclerc for a -10? Probably not. Maybe if Leclerc... it's difficult. I'd probably stick with Verstappen, and then if it looks like Leclerc is P1 and is going to win, you could final fix it, but probably not. Healy says, have the tool been wrong? Which tool? Must have missed you say something earlier, because I don't know which tool you mean. And that's the end of that. So Helix, get back to that. Let's do Sayed's as well. Leclerc, Tsunoda. Haas is quite a good team. Haas is a pretty good team. Yeah, Ratio. Leclerc, Tsunoda, Hulk, Magnussen, Gasly, Red Bull, Ferrari is my team. Do I swap Gasly or Constructor? I don't know what your budget would be. I would probably swap Gasly to... there's nothing I would swap Gasly to apart from Stroll, but I don't think you can reach that, so... Yeah, it's a tough one. I don't actually know what I would do with your team. It depends on how many transfers you have. Mohammed says, which one? Ham, Leclerc, or Leclerc Sainz? Leclerc Sainz. Ricardo, Bottas, or Gasly? Ricardo for sure. Ricardo for sure. I think they meant the F1 fantasy tool. Yeah, I don't think it's broken. I mean, this is just what I have when I select based on budget. But let's just go to this and recalculate based on points. This is pretty strong. Should I swap out Bottas for Tsunoda but take a 10-point deduction? No, don't do that. Don't do that. It's not worth it. The difference in points is not going to be that great. Team for 115.4. I mean, Leclerc, Piastri, or Leclerc Sainz plus some cheap assets. Ferrari, McLaren. That's really good. Gasly or Show? Very, very even. I don't know. Alonso or Yuki? Actually, Yuki. I prefer Yuki. I mean, have the tool been wrong in the past in terms of the sim results versus actual results? Okay. I mean, yes, because this tool can only do so much in terms of DNFs. So, but if you assume no DNFs, this tool is really, really good. But like, obviously, if Leclerc smashes into the wall, all the simulations are incorrect. So. They're very, very accurate in terms of pace on the car, I've found, though. So. Do you think it's possible to gain 1.9 with Tsunoda, Bottas, Leclerc, Piastri, Hulk, Ferrari, McLaren? Yeah. Looks like a strong team. Looks like a very, very strong team. Tsunoda, Bottas, and Leclerc, Piastri? Crazy. Alright, thank you so much for all the questions. We now have to discuss my team slightly. So, if you missed it earlier on in the stream... Let's do a quick poll here on quality predictions. I should do that. Let's do a quality predictions while I discuss my team. So, pole position: Max, Leclerc, Norris, or other. There you go. What do you think? I think Max takes it. So vote on that, and we'll discuss that in a second. And then okay, so let's look at my team then. So if you missed it earlier in the stream, I already made one transfer. As you see, I only have one transfer remaining because I already did Norris to Leclerc. I'm so convinced that Leclerc is the good option this week. So Leclerc is in. My question now, I have 3 options. I can do 1, nothing. I can do 2, Valtteri Bottas to probably Daniel Ricciardo or Magnussen, but probably Daniel Ricciardo. And 3, I go for the F1 Fantasy Tools highest predicting scoring team and sell Stroll and Tsunoda for Piastri and Sargent for -10 hit. Now we looked into this, so the calculations, this is my beautiful MS Paint sort of writing. So for the FP3 simulations, let's write sims. The difference between these two teams, the Stroll team is looking to gain at 201.8 points, whereas the Piastri team gets 215.3 points. Can you even see this? No, you can't. I'm being stupid. There you go. I think you can see it now. So 215.3 and then 201.8 and then 1.74. That's the price increase, and then 1.67. So for this team, I need to take a -10 hit, which means that -10, this is a 205.3, which is only a 3.5 point difference, right? 0.5, yeah, 3.5 points difference. So is it worth it to go into next week with 2 transfers instead of 3 transfers and only gain 3.5 points? I think not. Bottas may not start. I'm gonna look into that as we get closer to the thing. I don't know how it's going, but I think they should be able to fix their car, fix his car. Yeah, yeah, you can see the paint window now. Sorry, I had it half off. Yeah, so if Bottas doesn't look to be starting, of course I sell Bottas for Daniel Ricciardo, and then I don't even have to think about the Oscar Piastri, Logan Sargent line. And then, yeah, so those are the options, and I have not decided yet. I think, since it's only a 3.5 point difference, and only like a, what is it? Not a 0.7 million difference in price increase. Yeah, take 3 into Canada is very, very powerful as well. And I keep Yuki, I keep Stroll, which are options I want to keep in Canada. So yeah. 78% of you think that Leclerc is going to take pole. 78%, wow. Yep. I mean, Leclerc, I'm going for Leclerc. I'm repping the Ferrari shirt today. I am a Ferrari fan after all, so everyone is a Ferrari fan. So I think I have decided I won't go for the Piastri team, and it hurts. But I just gotta hope that Sargent crashes, right? Any comment on how the traffic would play a role in quali? That is like the Monegasque casinos. You have no idea. Old meta might return in Canada. Oh yes, for sure. I think like for Canada, you want the Magnusens. You want the assets. You want the Strolls. That's going to increase in price. You might want to go for Red Bull again. So having the Monaco is a very, very unique race in that how it is. So I think for now Albon by Mag taking -10. No, Carlos, no, don't do that. Don't take -10 hits for C-tier assets. All the C-tier assets are going to be bad in Monaco. It's very, very. You need like 5 or 6 crashes for it to matter, and you can't predict who's going to crash between Albon and Magnussen. I think they're equally likely to crash. So don't do that now at all. That is not worth it. But yeah, I think I've decided. I think I'm going without the Piastri, the Piastri lineup. I think it looks the strongest if you can get to it. But with a -10, I just don't think it's worth it. Is Bottas' car okay? We don't know, Horacio. We don't know. Let's actually bring up the stream. I think it's muted though, so you guys have to look at this yourselves. It should be starting now, right? The Monaco Grand Prix. have to double check so I don't accidentally streaming this to everyone. Let's see. They're talking IndyCar crashes right now. It's completely uninteresting to this stream. IndyCar is pretty fun though. Let's see. Where is the... What am I looking for? We're trying to see if Bottas's car is okay. Because that's what matters now, right? I think that's all that's going to matter now. Pray Bottas doesn't crash. Well, yeah, I mean, pray everyone doesn't crash. Better to have C-tier constructor with B-class drivers or other way around? Wouldn't you lose a lot of budget with C-tier drivers? No, so C-tier drivers gain a lot of budget if they can do overtakes. For this race, though, they cannot really do it. So, overall, for like a general rule, I think you always want two good... For points, you always want two good constructors and then one good driver. I think that's always the case. Like, always the case. Constructors get way more points. Google LLC is 100% correct. So, also trying Hamilton over Piastri for this one. It's a gamble. I think Piastri is going to be way better. Red Bull, Ferrari, or McLaren for constructors. Ferrari looks the best one for sure with its price. Red Bull looks better than McLaren for points, but since McLaren is below 25 million, I like McLaren until then. Who is more worth of this race, Piastri or Sainz? It's a 50-50. I've talked about that a ton. I can't decide. 17 minutes to go to the deadline. If anyone sees anything, because I'm trying to watch like the stream at the same time as I'm doing questions here. So if anyone sees anything on Bottas's car, let me know, because that's the only thing now that matters. I've decided to not do the -10 to get Sargent's and oh yeah, you need to look at OBS here so I don't. Yeah, desktop audio is muted. You cannot hear the Viaplay stream. That would be very bad. Gasly or Stroll, good sir, says Blake. Stroll for sure. I really like Stroll this race. I think it's Tsunoda, and then it's like Stroll, Hülkenberg, Ricciardo as the best C-tier assets. Would you consider Merc as a constructor? Ooh, it's painful, but I don't hate it. But I just prefer Ferrari, McLaren, and Red Bull way more. But if you have to stretch it, I don't hate it. We looked at that earlier, like Ferrari plus Mercedes with like Leclerc, Piastri is a decent team. But the thing is, I would want to get rid of that in Canada and go back to like Ferrari, Red Bull. So, is it worth going for Hamilton? I don't know. I don't think, not over Piastri. If you can afford Piastri, you go Piastri. What's the difference in value? It's like 1 million. If you can go Piastri over Hamilton, you go for Piastri. But I think like if you're going Hamilton over someone like a Stroll, I like it. I have two teams. Should I run Leclerc on both? Yeah, I think so. I also think Sainz is a better pick. He's much more experienced than Piastri, so he's less likely to need Monaco. Is just a tricky race. I agree. I do agree. I do value Sainz slightly above Piastri, but it's very, very close. It's very, very close. Yeah, we need to see. We need to see if Bottas's car is okay. Do we have news on Bottas's car? Let's see. Thank you so much for all the interactions. The stream has been going great. 142 people still in here. Still in here. Thank you so much for that. If you want to join my league, I have a link in the description to join my league so you can compare yourself. I'm pretty bad in the league right now, but so if you want to show up the streamer, join the league. The link is in the description. You can join it whenever with one of your teams. Yep. Google LC answered the question perfectly, Prasanjit. McLaren is good until 25 million. I think this is a stupid question, but Sainz over Lando. I think Sainz over Lando. The reason why is because Lando is 25 million. 25.4. And I don't think there's that much between them. So I actually think Sainz is better than Lando right now. Lando as an 8-tier asset is... But then again, like, if Lando gets P2, I mean, he's probably getting driver of the day unless Leclerc's first. Is this team good? Hamilton, Piastri, Hülkenberg, Bottas, Sargent, Ferrari, Red Bull. I don't hate it, but like Hamilton, Piastri, no Leclerc looks pretty scary, to be honest. I'd probably try and go for Ferrari, McLaren, and then Leclerc, Piastri, honestly. How do you league work since I didn't start until Japan? Are you cooked? Yes, you're cooked. Sorry. There's gonna be a new league you can make, but that's after the summer break. So unfortunately, you will be cooked in the league. Sorry, brick wall. But that's okay. I'll start a new league after summer break. Do we have any news on Bottas's car? Wanted information on Bottas's car. Do. Let's see if we can find any information on Bottas' car. Recent. Any news on Bottas's car? There's no news on Bottas's car. Just joined. Welcome, Cashlin. We're just waiting for the deadline to hit right now. Who do you prefer between Show and Bottas? I mean, it's the same with Ocon, Gasly. They could switch cars and I wouldn't notice. At least for fantasy reasons. Who would you go for, Ocon or Ricciardo, Gasly or Albon? I would go for Ricciardo over Ocon, especially for this race. Especially for this race. If you use 2 free transfers, will it cost you 10 points if you use Final Fix? No, it won't, Battles. No, it won't. It counts as an extra transfer. Yeah. Sakshi, Hamilton, Piastri, Hulkenberg, Bottas, Sargent, Ferrari, Red Bull. I don't like the Hamilton, Piastri because I don't trust either of them with the DRS boost, unfortunately. So if you have transfers, I would probably move one of them to a Leclerc, and maybe if you need money, sell Red Bull to McLaren. That's probably what I would do. No negative is better for a wet race. No negative is better for a sprint weekend. And we looked at the stats of that early, like the first couple of 10 minutes into the stream. So look at that. I don't hate the teams actually, but it's just I don't trust Hamilton or Piastri with the DRS boost. So that's what I would do. Yeah, so Erasio, the no negative is better for a sprint weekend. Yeah. Sebastian, what do you think? Leclerc, Piastri, Ricciardo, Holt, and Bottas, or Leclerc, Hamilton, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, and Bottas? That is a tough one. It's basically just like Hamilton and Tsunoda versus Piastri and Rick, right? I think Piastri and Rick's closer because I think like Rick and Tsunoda is pretty close actually. Is there a watch along for QUALI? I'm going to be watching QUALI live here. I unfortunately can't show you the stream obviously because I will get giga banned, and I don't want to get giga banned. But I will be watching the qualifying. So if you have your own stream, you can put that up and watch it with me. It's going to be fun. And then we can spam this when Max wins. You know. Ocon or Yuki? Yuki for sure. Yuki for sure. The best cheap drivers for Monaco are those drivers that can get a high position in qualifying and keep it. Yuki, Ricciardo, Stroll, Hulkenberg. Best C tier for increasing budget? For this race, it's those 4 that I just named. Yuki, Ricciardo, Stroll, and Hulkenberg. Because they are the ones that might get points. But normally it's assets like Stroll and Magnussen who do a lot of overtakes and qualify badly. Going to calling the big screen, locking my team. Thanks, bro. Thank you so much for being here, Grant. Appreciate it a lot. Do we have news on Bottas's car? 9 minutes. This is basically my team is this. If Bottas's car does not look finished, I am swapping Bottas to Ricciardo. But otherwise, I'm going into Canada with three free transfers. I've already done Norris to Leclerc. Let's see here. Alex or Valtteri? It's pretty close. I don't know. Valtteri, maybe? I don't like the Williams currently. But then again, Valtteri is a very... it's hard to know what Valtteri is going to do because we don't know if it's... We don't know if his car is fixed. I think his car should be fixed. I have the same team in the screen. Am I cooked? Probably. I'm jinxing you. I'm probably jinxing you. Ricardo or Show for last spot, Ricardo. Let's see. I'm just gonna assume that Bottas' car is fixed because they're not showing the mechanics working on it. Alright, thank you so much for being here. If you're still here, we're going to do a watch along. So if you want to stay and watch the qualifying with us, it will be fun. We'll be screaming and shouting when Leclerc gets pole. Ocon or Rick? Ricardo. I don't think Ocon has enough pace to qualify into Q3. That's for this race though. Ocon might be better than Ricardo in the future. They just confirmed on F1 stream that Bottas' car looks to be fixed. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Pin message. Boom. Bottas' car is fixed. You'd love to see it. Okay, I'm probably rolling then. This is the team. No Piastri. No double beater. We're praying that Sargent crashes. Piastri has a howler. We're doing Yuki to Alonso. Albon to Logan. No. Stick with Yuki. Edith, on a separate note from all this, content is solid and you're a fun streamer. Cheers. Cheers, Edith. That means a lot. If you're still here, like and subscribe. That helps me out a ton. Thank you so much for being here. It's gonna be fun. The rest of the season is going to be fun. I'm gonna keep doing like probably two videos per race weekend, likely, perhaps 3, and then a deadline stream on top of that on all the weekends that I can. And yeah, it's really fun doing the streams. We've had like 130 plus viewers throughout the entire stream, which is incredible. Thank you for the few super chats, the first ever super chats I've gotten on this channel, so that means a lot. Should I switch Albon to Hulkenberg? Yes, if it's a free transfer, it looks pretty good, but I wouldn't do a -10 for it. Boobam says, are you Swedish? I am Swedish. Yes, I am. Sainz or Piastri for the DRS boost? Sainz. Alright. I think we're sticking with this team, guys. I think that's the team. I think we are sticking with this team. I am nervous going without the Leclerc Piastri team, but it's it is what it is. It's just not worth the -10. And like, I'm not doing a -10 to get Piastri into my team. You should not do a -10 to do like Albon to Hulkenberg, right? Show Gasly or Albon. It's like 50-50 between 30-30, I guess. I don't know. What made you pick Stroll? His budget gains. He is one of the best for budget. Because he is a C-tier asset. All assets below 15 million. So I've had Stroll for quite some time because of that reason, and he's performed really well. I used my Limitless in Miami, so I didn't get this negative when he crashed or did not finish the sprints. So he's gotten me 16, 13, 9, 12. Like, that's just good point score. So if he doesn't DNF, he usually increases in price. He's one of the best C-tier assets in the game, even though he's not a great driver. I want Leclerc, Piastri, pray for me. No, I'm not praying for you. I'm praying for myself, and I need Piastri to do poorly. Final thought of the team. I will lock in Leclerc, Piastri, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, Bottas, Ferrari, and McLaren. Looks fantastic. I wish I was in your spot. Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, Leclerc, and Piastri? Yeesh. I'm very jealous of that team, Sebastian. Can you explain why some weeks you get 2 transfers and some 3? Because you can bring a transfer over. So that's what I'm doing now. Since I only used one of my transfers, I'm bringing one of my transfers over to next weekend. You can only bring 1 transfer over, and the maximum you can have in a week is 3. So that's why you can have 3 free transfers in some weeks. McLaren over Red Bull. Red Bull is looking to gain more points in Monaco, but McLaren is below 25 million are better for budget gains. So, 3 minutes to the deadline. I think I'm sticking. I don't think I'm switching Bottas. I think I'm going without Bottas. Without switching Bottas. I'm just sticking with it. He's probably decreasing in price, but that's what it is. Sometimes you just gotta make the best move in the long term, and I think sticking with this is the best long term decision. I have a lot of things to do in Canada. Magnussen, Ocon, or Ricardo. I think Ricardo is the strongest this weekend because Ricardo can qualify high. Alright. 3 minutes to the deadline. Final questions, and then we're doing a watch along. If you're leaving the stream, make sure to like the stream before you leave it. It means a lot. Make sure that you subscribe. I want to get to 1,000. Would be lovely. Would be lovely. So subscribe if you enjoy the stream. Subscribe if you enjoy the content. I'm putting out two videos every race weekend at the least. And then yeah, 2 minutes. Woo! 2 minutes, and then we're watching Leclerc take pole. Leclerc, Piastri, Hulk, Tsunoda, Show, McLaren, Ferrari. Final thoughts. Looks fantastic. I mean, if you have Leclerc, Piastri, Hulk, and Tsunoda, I mean, you're living the dream life. You're living the dream life. I'm locked in with Red Bull McLaren. Well, that's crazy. Leclerc, Piastri, Hulk, Show, Bottas. No Ferrari is brave, Vegard. I went with Gasly over Show and Albon. I mean, yeah, it's a toss-up. It's for sure a toss-up. Ruben says, good luck for the Leclerc, Tsunoda, Stroll, Hulk, Mag, Ferrari, MCL. See you next time. See you next time, Ruben. Thank you so much for being here. What would you change? Max RB. I have Hulk, Albon, Show, Bottas, and Ferrari. Yeah, maybe I would get Leclerc in, but it's a close one. I mean, Max is definitely a differential, so DRS boost makes Max Verstappen, he gets pole, and you're sitting pretty. Leclerc, Piastri, Bottas, Show, Sargent, Ferrari, McLaren, a little risky. Doesn't look risky at all. Looks really, really strong. I mean, Sargent is a bit risky, but it's not too bad. I really like that. I really like that, Isaac. 1 minute to the deadline. I think I'm sticking. Worth running Piastri a day. Drop Yuki and Stroll to Sarge. That's what I've. So my consideration was: do I go for instead of Yuki Tsunoda and Lance Stroll, I was gonna go for Piastri and Sargent, but I don't think it's worth a -10. We did some calculations on it. These are my beautiful MS Paint scores, and I think it's only worth a couple of points. And I'm just gonna hope that Sargent will stream continue for qualifying. Yes, I will be watching qualifying live on stream, but we're just ramping it up now. 0 minutes to the deadline. It's happening. It's happening. Fun stream, fun stream. Thank you so much if you were here for it. We're going to continue it, so don't go anywhere if you have a way to watch the qualifying on your own on a second monitor. Don't forget to subscribe, like the stream. It means a ton, and it helps me out a ton. So thank you so much for being here. We had like 160 viewers, 170 viewers tops. Fantastic. Fantastic. It's starting now. Considering his car is okay. Oh, we are rocking. I think it's done. I think it's done. Bye bye bad luck. It's done. Team's locked in. Let me tweet about it, and then I need to go to the toilet real quick while Q1 is starting, and then we're gonna do a watch along. So thank you if you're leaving now. Thank you for being here. Go watch qualifying some other place if you want. But if you wish to stay here and watch the qualifying with me, you can do so. We're going to be shouting when Leclerc takes P1, I guess. And hoping that the drivers that I have perform well, and hoping that the drivers that you have perform well. So I'm just going to tweet this out real quick. Let me bring this over here. And do a little tweet out the final team, and then I need to go to the bathroom. Let's see. Oops. Let's see. Team selection for Monaco. No -10 for Piastri. Sticking with the C tiers and praying. F1 fantasy. Alright. QUALI. Watch along now. And where is my little stream? Let's see here. There, copy it. Bottas is heading out on track. Yep, you love to see it. You love to see it. You love to see it. There we go. Alright. Post made. I'm quickly gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I am back. Are people still here? Or have you left me? Left me to my vices. Let's see here. Yeah, some people still here. Some people still here. €35. Nice, not bad, not bad. Let's see. Okay, so let's just what should I have up here? I guess I should just do a let's do this. QUALI what? There you go. There you go. QUALI watch along. Alright, what have I missed? Landstroll parked. Nice. Love that. Whoa, let's get comfortable, huh? Let's see here. Streams up. Oh, recline back into the chair. Hulkenberg and Magnussen on flyers. Here comes Verstappen. Sainz slower than Russell. We're probably looking for like the 111s, the 110s, so they're not doing very fast times yet. Verstappen, 112. Still pretty slow, actually. We saw times in the 111s, right? In the actual... or in the practice. What was the practice to? Yeah, we were in like the 111 2s for Leclerc. So these times are not representative of what we're going to be witnessing for the rest of the session. Oh, that was close. Piastri nearly hit the wall. 111.8. Piastri looking strong. Stroll, 3rd place. Alonso, 3rd place. 12-1. Leclerc. Leclerc puts it... no, wow, 9th? 9th? That's not what I bought you for. Change the title? I should change the title. You're correct. You are correct. Edit title to F1. Let's see, Monaco. QUALI watch along. There we go. Let's save that. There we go. Let's unpin this because it doesn't matter now. Could you raise the mic volume? Try to watch your comments and say that, but you're way quieter. Am I? Oh, I can look into it for the next time. I can look into it for next time, Google. Yeah, I have to look into the to that some other time. I don't think I can do it now because I'm gonna be moving the mic around and adjusting. I think it's just because it's I've lost the things that sort of fastens the mic, so it's just kind of balancing on the stand, so it might not be pointed in the right direction. I can speak louder. What is Perez doing? I don't know what Perez is doing. I don't know what Perez is doing. So for the constructor, how much if Perez doesn't make it through? I mean, Perez is fine. I think Perez is fine. No, Perez is awful. 14th, 12-6 is not going to be enough. Verstappen improves. There's going to be so many things for impeding. Ultimately, like whatever happens here, anything could happen afterwards because of impeding. There could be so many grid penalties. I don't know how many grid penalties there were in previous editions of Monaco because of impeding. Don't really care about Bottas going into the pits, so I don't know why they're showing that. Yeah, why is Leclerc all the way down there? I think it's fine. I think he just messed up on one sector. I think he just had made a slight mistake. So I think we're fine. I think we're fine for now. Perez looks bad though. Though that might hurt Leclerc's chances on pole. Because he might have to use an extra set of tires to set a proper lap. So we'll see. Hamilton up to second. Have I been lying to you all stream? Is Mercedes on it? Sainz worse? Worse than the Mercedes. That's crazy. I mean, Norris is 11th. I don't think that's going to happen. We'll see. Leclerc alone. I'm assuming Leclerc is setting like a time when the field's empty and just hoping that people don't improve. He looks pretty alone on track right now. Oh wait, there's someone in front. Verstappen impeding. Verstappen has to get out of the way. Alright. Let's see, did Leclerc lose anything on that? Let's see how he does here, Leclerc. Slower than Piastri, but it's a better time for sure. Yeah, move out the way. Oh, yellow flag. Oh, we're fine. Leclerc, nice. Magnussen puts a P2 as well. Jesus. Magnussen's up in second. Mercedes gonna jump 1 mil? Well, we'll see. Hamilton says you lied to me. No. The times are coming now. Look, Magnussen and Hulkenberg are setting 11 times. Reminder that in practice 2, in practice 2, Leclerc set a time of 11.2, and he's now on 11.6. So the track is getting better. The times currently on the board do not matter at all. There's surely someone is gonna get impeded, right? There's no way we get through Monaco without any. Oh, yeah, there's looking like there's some traffic here. Uh-oh. Okay. Stroll puts second. Russell goes top. I don't know why we're following Albon here. I guess he's a driver at risk, but I don't really care what Albon does here. I think everyone is going to improve, so I don't think Perez being 16th matters currently, or Tsunoda being 17th. They just need one good lap here. Verstappen puts it third. Behind Russell, though, what's happening to the Mercedes? All of a sudden, Sargent puts it 11th. Albon 5th, ahead of the Haas's. 11.7. Bottas only 18th. That's pretty bad. Yuki Tsunoda, purple middle sector. I like to see that. I like seeing that. I want Yuki to do well now that I kept him. Oh, pretty bad third sector for Yuki. Maybe there was some people in the way. Ocon puts a 10th. Let's see, Checo, Gasly. There's still 2 minutes left. I'm assuming some people are doing double runs. Norris is in the pits. Huh? Wait, Norris is doing his outlap now. He's gonna be lost. Checo, only 14th. Perez is gonna go out. I mean, if Perez is out, Hamilton. What Mercedes pace? Hello? Okay, maybe I did lie. Maybe I did. Maybe I did lie. What's happening? What is happening? What is happening? What is happening right now? I don't. What is happening right now? Wait. I mean, surely Norris is safe, right? There's no way Norris is out. It's like, I mean, is Checo out? Can Checo make it around for another lap? I don't know. I think Checo might be out. I honestly think Checo might be out. What is Norris doing? I don't know what Norris is doing. Oh, look at that line of cars there. Jesus Christ. It looks like a parking zone. Alonso doesn't improve. Impeding. 13th. Oh, look at this. Look at this. And anyone going on a fast lap now is just stuck. Oh my god. Okay, well, Norris is over the line. Can Perez make another lap? Ricardo looks bad as well. Show and Bottas are nowhere. Sargent's through right now, which I think is bad for him. I think it's worth it. I think Sargent is better if he's P20 than like P15. Here comes Norris. There's a lot of people in the way though. There's a lot of cars in the way. Here comes Perez. Is he over the line? I think Perez is done. I don't think Perez made it. Look where Perez look where Perez is on the map. I don't think Perez made it. Oh wait, no, that was Verstappen. Okay, I think Perez is on a fast lap. Albon puts it fourth above Verstappen. Verstappen did not make it to the second lap. Sainz goes third. Leclerc's in the pits, probably safe. Here comes Norris. Bottas is done. Bottas is out. Ricardo's through 8th. Perez is out. Perez is on a fast lap. Perez made it around just barely, I think, with only a few seconds to spare. Let's see, Norris. Gasly goes 7th. I think that's bad for owners. Norris goes 9th. It's not great, but he makes it through. Sargent is out. Bottas is out. Piastri puts it second. Checo needs to improve. Alonso's out. Perez is out! Alonso and Checo are out. Oh my god. There is no way. There is no way. Alonso's out. I mean, I told you Alonso was bad. I was right about that, but I did not think Perez was going to do that in Monaco again. What is he doing? What is Checo doing? Checo's out. Checo's actually just out. All Red Bull owners in the mud. All the Red Bull owners in the mud. The 10 points for the constructors gone. That helps McLaren owners. Checo's out again in Monaco. Yeah, that is a joke. Jesus. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Checo is out. Oh my god. Who else is out? I mean, Alonso's out. Stroll's... I mean, didn't I tell you that I could get Alonso from Stroll, but I think Stroll is just better because of the price he's at and C-tier. And now Alonso's out in Q1. Stroll's through. I don't know what's happened to Stroll, man. Or Alonso. Alonso's been bad in the past like 3 races. Sargent's out, 17th. What is this? It's Alonso 16th, Sargent 17th, Checo 18th, and then double... oh, Perez is upset. And then double... Yeah, that one. Okay, I actually think that's pretty good for me. Considering I have... let's bring up my fantasy team. Where is it? F1 fantasy team. So, my fantasy team, right? Ignore this right one. Let's just do this and just move this over here. So this is my fantasy team, right? And I think it's actually pretty good for Bottas to be that far back, because if people crash, he can gain positions. So I actually don't hate Bottas from 19th. I actually think Sargent from 17th is kind of bad. Ay, 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 ay. Heck, Paris, what are you doing? He can't do that. You're in a Red Bull. I mean, I know it's one thing if he gets like 6th and gets beaten by the Ferraris and the McLarens, but like he can't do that. He cannot do that. He cannot do that. Wow, that is incredible. Alonso is old. Is Alonso's age finally showing? Is Alonso's age finally showing? He's been bad for the past three races. Upgrade from Mercedes is going well. Well, apparently so. I did not think Mercedes was going to be good. Did not expect that. Well, we'll see. I guess Mercedes could be an option for next weekend. Everyone called me mad, but I said Logan is better than Checo. I think that's a bit mean. I think that's a bit mean, but yeah, Checo. The rumors are that Red Bull are re-signing him. I don't believe why. Like I think they should go for Sainz. I think Perez has shown that he can't handle it in Red Bull. Especially if the championship is going to be so close between McLaren, Red Bull, and Ferrari. Wow, what a Q1! That went pretty well for me. I think Sargent being 17th is bad for owners, because I don't think it's likely that he's increasing in price ever. There has to be so many DNFs ahead of him for it to be worth it, and I think he's more likely to crash from 17th than 20th. So I think it's bad for Sargent owners that he's 17th and not 20th. And as such, it's good for me because I didn't buy Sargent. Bottas from 19th. I like that. I like that. Stroll, Hulkenberg, and Tsunoda are through and can make Q3. I don't know if I like Leclerc at the moment. Leclerc's not... I mean, McLaren over Red Bull. That's a big one. That's a massive one. So, yeah. Monaco's the best quality of the year. Yeah, I mean, for sure. For sure. Red Bull isn't an option for construction anymore. McLaren, Ferrari, and Merc going forward. I mean, I actually don't fully disagree, Evie. I think they're still going to get the fastest pit stop points, which is what speaks against them. So, like, Paris just... Like, if Paris is just 6th, Red Bull is probably the best constructor option because of their pit stops. But, I mean, I do think, like, if on races where they're overtaking potential, Paris being out in Q1 is great for Red Bull owners. So I don't agree fully, Evie, but I mean, here in Monaco, McLaren is clearly the better option. McLaren and Ferrari. That is unbelievable. I mean, the field is so close. So close. So close. F1 Fantasy Tools tweeted 4 minutes ago, Paris P18 is crazy. Ferrari McLaren teams are already better than any red option. He will overtake in the race. It's the hope that kills you. Final fix Red Bull to McLaren? I don't think you final fix because of Checo. I don't think you do that. So yeah, if you're at Red Bull, unlucky, but I don't think you final fix. Just because of final pit stop points, you just gotta pray, right? I mean, I guess if you're on Paris, you for sure final fix, right? If you're on Checo, you have to. What went wrong? I don't even know. He's just bad. Like, it didn't look like there were any impeding. I don't understand. I mean, the field was very, very close, but there was like nothing. Oh yeah, you can't final fix constructors. I forgot about that. Yeah. You're right. Racing is epic. Up stupid. You're correct. You're correct. You're correct. You are correct. You are correct. Now you're fine. I wouldn't final fix anyway. If you have Checo as your DRS boosted driver, you for sure... Like, that's the one thing. If you have Checo as your 2x driver, you final fix. For whoever gets pole. That you can afford, right? Ooh, sorry. Alright, Q2's up. I feel like Q2 is too long. Like, Q2 is not that exciting. Like, Q1 is exciting. And I get Q1 being long. Q3 is exciting because it's Q3. I feel like Q2 is just kind of mid. Q2 is not that great. How many can Checo realistically overtake in the race? I don't know. I mean, he probably overtakes Logan Sargent, right? He probably overtakes Logan Sargent. So that's one. And one positions gain. That's 2 points. And then maybe on like some good strategy, he can gain some points. So maybe he doesn't decrease in price. 18.4 max. What did I miss? Oh. Huh? Wait, how does that make sense? How's that possible? Norris fastest sector 2. Verstappen slower than Norris so far. Norris a 1:11.3. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Reminder, that's why I have this up. The practice 2 times, Leclerc got an 11:2. So we're probably looking at like the high 110s. Verstappen goes fastest 11:1, so beating this time from Leclerc. Ocon, I've been blocked. Well, of course he has. Reminder again that like someone will have impeded somewhere on this track. Oh, Nico. Oh, there's cars there. Oh. Bonk. I don't know if that's Gasly or... Oh, that's a solid hit for Hulkenberg in the wall. We'll see. But yeah, we... let's see. Tsunoda P2. And then Sainz go first. I missed that, looking at the replays. Yeah, the track's getting better, for sure. Yeah, Tsunoda 11:257. That's better than Leclerc's time in practice 2. What's the times in practice 3? Yeah, slower. Yeah. So, whoop. Silverstone ads. That's later on. Let's see how Mercedes. Oh, there we go. That makes more sense. Oh wait, they haven't done their time. Oh wait, Hamilton plus 6 seconds. He's probably doing 2 warm-up laps. 2 warm-up laps for Hamilton. And here he goes. Okay, let's see. Sainz fastest, but just barely over Verstappen. I need to get like the chat up so I can look at the chat at the same time, because I'm missing things in the chat while I'm watching the stream. So let's make this smaller and then pop out the chat. Pop out? There we go. So I can just look at the chat. Here we go. A few people have done a 1:11.1. We're going to get a 1:10. Yeah, I think the poll is going to be like a 1:10, 1:10.8. I'm putting $1 million bet on a double Haas points finish. That's brave. That's brave. Verstappen's so fast in the first sector and then just slows down in the second. Where's Leclerc's pace? We haven't even seen it. Come on, Leclerc. You can't go and get beaten by Sainz after having such good practice sessions. Verstappen goes fastest. 1:11.019. Hulkenberg, Ocon impeding. Okay. I don't know who was the one in the wrong. I hope it was Ocon. Max doing Max things. There you go. Ocon is beating Leclerc. Yeah, I don't know how this is happening. Checker doing checker things. Yep. I'm actually wishing Merc go out. Am I mean? A bit mean. Oh. Oh, that's Hulkenberg. That's bad for me. Blocking! Ocon snitch. That's probably a like a 3-place penalty for impeding here is so rough. Like Hulkenberg puts it P10 in qualifying, and then just P13, and then you know what? He just, ugh. What's wrong? Like, come on, like, okay, Leclerc, you were in a league of your own in all 3 practice sessions. Okay. Well, Ocon in 4th is crazy. Ocon is in 4th is crazy. Tsunoda in 3rd is crazy. I'm not deceitful, but how can he hurt me like this? I know! Come on, this is supposed to be your thing, Leclerc. You're supposed to be good at qualifying. I guess it's only Q2. Copium. Copium is only Q2. What is Alpine pace, by the way? Or is Ocon just a goat at Monaco? Leclerc is so inconsistent. No, he's very consistent. He's consistently the best in practice and then not the best in qualifying. I feel like that's very consistent. I'd love to hope for another podium and a 1.5 rise, but he always does this in Q2. True. Never trusting Leclerc again. Sainz is more consistent. Maybe not. We'll see. We'll see. Gasly, well, Alpine pace. Hello. I'd completely written off Alpine's pace for this weekend, but it's looking like they're fast. It's looking like they're fast. That might be both Alpines through to Q3. I did not think that was gonna happen. That could be very strong for Alpine owners, Ocon and Gasly. Yeah, Alpines are quick. The McLaren doesn't look that fast either. No, I think Mercedes is showing the true pace here. I think they were just the fastest early on. They're dropping pace now. You kept Gasly, so you're happy? Yeah. I mean, all power to you. I did not think Gasly and Ocon were going to be good assets here, but I mean, 4th looks like he's safe, right? That's an 11-2 something. I think the Tsunoda and Ocon look pretty safe at that time. Or is everyone going to improve like that? It doesn't look like Hamilton is improving. Oh, never mind. Fastest in the 2nd sector. I mean, if everyone's going to do times like that, then I guess the Alpines aren't safe. Let's see, where does Hamilton go? He goes 3rd. Someone else took his best sector 2 though. Who else is on track? Who's out on track? Someone else took the fastest 2nd. Oh, here we go. Leclerc? Oh no, that's start of the lap. Piastri 10-7. Whoa! That's a time. Okay. Russell 10-9. Okay. All right, here we go. All right. I guess the Alpines aren't safe. Those are some times. 10-7. Leclerc. Come on, Leclerc. Come on. Oh, Piastri hit the wall. I mean, 10-7, like this. Leclerc's not close. Leclerc's not close. I mean, one like 1500s is close, but like second. I mean, that's pretty. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I mean, Piastri's time is brutal. That was a pretty good lap from Leclerc. That was a pretty good lap from Leclerc. That was good. That was good from Leclerc. We need to see that in Q3. We need to see that in Q3. Yeah, 10.7 is crazy. 10.7 is actually crazy. That could be faster than the pole time. 11-1, then Ocon and the Gasly might be out. Norris. Oi! 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 What is happening with Norris? He's taking pole. That's what's happening. Oh yeah. Let's see. I would love Tsunoda in 8th, honestly. 8th place. I just hope Hulkenberg and Ricciardo can get over the Alpines. Albon 8th. I mean, everyone needs to improve at this point. If Albon is putting in a 1:11.1. It's so close. It's so close. Oh, Gasly's made a mistake. He's gone. Gasly's gone. Sorry, Evie. I know you kept Gasly. He's probably out. It's like, will Red Bull have budget to fix Leclerc and Norris? I wouldn't do that. Even if Norris is even if Norris is P1 and Leclerc's like P4, I wouldn't do it. Lance Stroll, I would love Lance Stroll in Q3 as a Stroll owner. I should bring up my team. Where is it? It's like there you go. Stroll, show me something good. Come on, Lance Stroll. That's not good enough. I think Stroll's out. Hulkenberg is for sure out in 12th. Stroll. Stroll does not improve. Yeah, Stroll's out. Stroll's out. Hulkenberg's out. I think Magnussen's out. Let's see if Ricciardo can get through. Oof. I mean, Hamilton's fine. Is Albon gonna take? Is Albon and Ocon in Q3? I think it is. Unless Ricciardo can improve. I think Albon's through to Q3. Ocon's done. Yeah, I think Albon's through. Who's gonna, like, Ricciardo's not fast. Oh, Gasly's on a fast lap, though. Gasly's fast. Oh my god, Gasly putting Ocon down to P11. No, Ricciardo's only 13th. I think Magnussen is done. Gasly. Oh, Pierre Gasly! Knocking Ocon out. You know he's happy about that. You just know he's happy about that. Yes, I think it's just Tsunoda left. Albon in Q3. Honestly, salute to the Albon owners. I did not expect that. Tsunoda in 9th. Wow. Gasly, Tsunoda, and Albon through. Wow. What did you say about Gasly? Hey, Evie. I jinxed it. I reverse jinxed it for you, okay? My god. Guys, never trust Ferrari based on practice again. True. I mean, yeah, like, look at the times. Look at the times. It's like half a second from 1st down to 9th. That's brutal. Gasly 5th. What? Ricardo out, Stroll out, Hulkenberg out, Ocon, Magnussen. I think that dooms most of those assets to a points decrease unless a lot of assets in the front DNF. Yeah, Albon over someone like a Hulkenberg is crazy to me. I love Gasly being happy, dude. I love Gasly being happy. Not them showing Lawson on the screen with Danny Rick got knocked out. It's so funny. It's actually hilarious. I mean, Tsunoda's cooking Ricardo. It has to be said. Yellow flag. Now, Q2's over. 0.48 between Lando and Alex. Yup. And the fact that Checo's out is crazy. Oh, what a oh my god. That lockup is crazy from Ocon. I'm gonna need another beer after that. By the way, man, you are leading 2-0 against City? No, surely not. Am I getting trolled? There's no way. There's no way. Are you kidding me? Wait, where's my... Wait, hold on. I need to change shirts. Maybe I can unjinx. Where's my... I can't find my shirts. Alright, we're supporting Man United now. Let's go! Let's go! Stop the cap! Let's go! There's no way! Alright, what happened? Did I miss something? I can't be dealing with this madness at 1 AM on a Sunday. It's too much. Final fix Alonso to Gasly. I don't know. I think you just stick with Alonso. But yeah, I think Alonso's a bad pick overall, and this proves it. We got Alpine in Q3 and Man U winning City on the same day. I know what is happening. What is his life? What is his life? We're rocking Man U now. Hopefully, me removing the Ferrari shirt can give Charles Leclerc the pole, right? Final fix show to Gasly? No. I mean, like it depends. Wait for it, okay? Gasly's probably gonna be P10 or P9, so probably not. The points difference is not going to be that great. Like, if Gasly qualified... Okay, so you're thinking about using your final fix chip to get show to Gasly, right? You won't get the qualifying points from Gasly, because you will get the qualifying points for show, which is 0. And then you won't get Gasly's qualifying points. Say Gasly qualifies in P9. I think that's pretty likely. You know, Gasly gets like a P9, right? Then he gets... so in the race, even if like nothing happens in the front, he just stays P9... He gets 2 points. 2 points. And then you're not even going to get the points, the price increase for him if he increases in price. Because the final fix doesn't work like that. It will revert back to your prior team. So, the only way, like, I would consider doing that if Gasly is, like, P2. So, yeah. Man United fan, disappointing. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. That is just how it is. It's okay today since they're playing City. True. Yeah, true. I can't believe they're leading. If they sack Ten Hag after he wins 2 trophies in 2 years, that's tragic. I know we're talking F1 here, but if Ten Hag wins this, oh my god. Okay. Let's see. Evie, Arsenal fan? I mean, I respect it. Yeah, Laura won't be mad if they beat City though, because I'm an Arsenal fan. True! No City fans allowed. No City fans allowed. Plastic fans. Maybe not the best time to ask, but what's the final fix strat? The best final fix strat is to wait until you are on a track where it's easy to overtake and one of the top drivers puts in a stinker in qualifying or takes like an engine penalty. I'm talking like a Carlos Sainz starting P18 in Spa. You know, that's when you know you're cooking. That's when you final fix them in, because they're gonna do like 11 overtakes, 12 positions gained, and get points in the race. They can get driver of the day. We're talking crazy point scores there. So, like a 2-point final fix to get Gasly in over show. Why? No. You wait for it. We're all here for the F1 football stuff. Yep. I'm thinking about doing videos for the Euro Fantasy. I've made an introduction video. I might post it. City doesn't have a fan over the age of 12. Or who's from Saudi Arabia. Or no, United Arab Emirates. Saudi is Newcastle, right? I'm switching over to watch the. I might stay on stream and watch Euro has Fantasy. Euro has Fantasy, and it dropped like last week. I don't think a lot of people know about it, so I might wanna, because my channel is just like fantasy, right? I do a lot of Premier League fantasy, fantasy Premier League as well, but I've never made a video about it because I don't think like there's so much FPL content out there. The Russians are attacking. I don't know if you can hear the helicopters outside. Yeah, so I might do some Euro fantasy content. I've made like an introductory video that's like halfway done, so I might continue that if I have time this week and post it. Because like I would like to do FPL content as well, but like FPL has so many content creators that I don't see what I can add to it. Like I can yap all I want, but I feel like there are already good yappers in the FPL content scene. There are good statisticians. I've had some decent seasons. I ended like 23k overall in FPL this year, and then last year I was top 4k. So I've had 2 good seasons in a row now, once I started taking it serious. Can I final fix Red Bull for McLaren? No, you can only final fix drivers, and even if you could, I wouldn't do it. What happens if Williams puts it on pole? I think if Albon puts it on pole, I think everyone in this chat right now should like go donate $5 to charity. My husband will be joining you on that. I'm the F1 fantasy apprentice, he's the Premier League fantasy apprentice. He'd love that you'll start Euro fantasy. Nice. I'm probably making Euro fantasy content because I haven't seen enough about it, and it looks pretty fun. I do need to learn the strategies though. I think I know the strategies, but I've got to look more at the actual assets. I haven't looked through the prices and like what assets are good. Look for good hidden picks as well, but. Laura, speaking madness, are you high? If Norris stays in P1, will you use the chips to change Leclerc to Norris? No. No. Not worth it. Not worth it. I think everyone's very excited to use the final fix. I think we just gotta stay patient until we get to a spot where people can overtake. A Checo Perez at Spa qualifying in P19. That's the dream, baby. That's the dream. Let's see what we have here. Hamilton. Oh, close to the wall. Fastest in Sector 1. Hamilton is then... Hamilton's fast. What about using the no negative and Piastri? Save your no negative for sprint weekends. Probably Qatar or Oh, no, no, Leclerc, no! What do you mean something moved in the pedals? What do you mean? What do you mean? Yeah. Wow, I mean, I'm scared every weekend, but you only have 5 or 6 chips, so... I would probably save no negative until either Qatar or Brazil. Oh! 10-4! Leclerc! Oh my god! Something's moving in the pedals. Yeah, his foot. His foot's moving, pushing it down. Jesus Christ! Oh, Piastri 10-4 as well. It's only a couple tenths, a couple hundreds. Norris 10-9. It's half a second between Norris and Piastri. Woo! Piastri, like those of you running Leclerc and Piastri, you're looking good right now. Looking good. Sainz 10-6. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Russell, Tsunoda goes 6, 10-6, 11-6. That's pretty slow, actually. Oh, no, no, not Verstappen, not Verstappen. No. No, not Verstappen, no, please. Please, Max, let us have fun for once. Please let us have fun for once. Russell is 4th, ahead of Norris. Verstappen. Oh, he's 500. He's half a tenth. He's half a tenth behind. He's half a tenth behind. Max. Final corner. Over the straight. Oh, only 3rd. Behind Piastri. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's happening. It's happening. It's happening. Don't panic. Okay, no. No. There's one run left. There's one run left. Come on, Leclerc. Come on, Leclerc. He won't make it. This isn't Max. Evie, don't you dare. Don't you dare. I love QUALI Monaco. The QUALI Monaco. I'm watching this over the FA Cup final. I'm a United fan. I just thought we would get blown away. I have to switch over in the second half though. But knowing United, they will find a way to blow it 3-2. In the FA Cup semi-final, United were United like 3-0 ahead, right? And dropped it to 3-3. I saw that United were 3-0 ahead and was like, oh, I'll watch the game. And then Coventry scored 3 times. It's the shirt swap! Today your screen is behind mine. Well, that happens sometimes. That happens sometimes. It could be that the stream is on a higher delay as well. I don't actually know. I don't actually know what the stream delay is on. Alright. Alright. Okay. I'm so nervous. Albon on track. I think Albon's probably P10. I'd ideally like Tsunoda to beat Gasly. I'm about to split screen on my TV. Yep. That's a pretty good time for Albon. That's a pretty good time for Albon. Last sector. That's good. 10-9 for Albon, ahead of Hamilton. Yeah, I think we were panicking about Mercedes a bit too early. I think this is their true pace. I think they're just 5th and 6th, right? Or no, maybe 6th and 7th, right? United can shock you, especially between minute 80 and 90. Yup. I know all too well. I've been watching United all season. Sainz is out first. Yeah. I mean, if Piastri, if Sainz is a team player, which he won't be because he's kicked out, Hamilton's nice. Come on, come on, Sainz, put it in the wall. Put it in the wall. Verstappen on new softs. Shut up, Vedant. I'm sorry, that's mean. I mean, it's gonna be Verstappen wins, right? It's just Max wins again. Max wins. Max wins. I like he only said nice. Yeah, I appreciate that. That's baller. I really want Tsunoda to beat Albon and Gasly though. Let's see. Alright, we have Sainz, and then we have Max, then Hamilton, then Russell, then Gasly, then Tsunoda. Then we have Leclerc, and then I think it's Norris. My stream is still behind. I hate Aussie Wi-Fi. Unlucky. Alright, the McLarens are lost out though. McLarens are lost out. Here we go. Sainz first. Put it in the wall. In the wall. Put it in the wall. Da 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 da. Come on, Sainz, for the memes. Oh, that's a awful first sector. Put it in the wall. That's a mistake. Yeah, Sainz is gone. That's a 2 seconds in the first sector. Alright, Hamilton then. Sainz is gone. Sainz owners in the mud. Piastri was a choice. Sainz owners in the mud. Piastri was the choice. No, Sainz is gone. Sainz is not first. He messed up first sector. Doesn't matter to me if Tsunoda beats Gasly. You probably want Gasly to beat Tsunoda actually, EV, because Gasly's a bigger differential. More people have Tsunoda. Hamilton, Russell fastest in sector 1. That's a he's probably not challenging for pole, but he can upset some others. Thank God. Here comes Hamilton. Is he faster than Albon, Norris, Russell? Russell looks really fast. Hamilton ahead of Sainz, and that's done. Sainz is not improving, so Hamilton's ahead of Sainz. Sainz owners truly in the mud. Russell, third. Decent time. That could stick. Yeah, Russell and both Mercedes ahead of Sainz. Sainz truly in the mud. I think Norris is improving. I think Sainz is 7th. Oh, Verstappen hit the wall. Verstappen hit the wall. Wait, Verstappen's done. He's not on a time, right? Verstappen's not on a time, right? He's done. Verstappen's gone. I think Verstappen's gone. Piastri, Leclerc. Oh, Leclerc 10-2! Let's go! Yeah, Verstappen's gone. Verstappen didn't improve. Verstappen's in the pits. Piastri second. I mean, Leclerc Piastri owners are feasting. Yeah, Verstappen's done. Verstappen hit the wall. Oh, there comes Sainz. What? Sainz third? Hello? What? I thought Sainz was done. He got another lap? What? Norris fourth. I thought Sainz was gone. He got another lap in. That's crazy. What? Yeah, Verstappen's gone. Verstappen's 6th. Oh my God, Red Bull owners in the mud. Verstappen's 6th. Oh, let's go. Leclerc. Charles Leclerc. Let's go. Tsunoda 8th. Albon 9th. Gasly 10th. Oh, we're loving life. Oh, Leclerc Piastri owners are feasting. I should have done the -10. Oh no, I should have done the -10. Wait, oh, Gasly's not done. He is. Oh no, he's P10. Gasly P10. Oh, dude, Leclerc Piastri. I should have done the -10. Oh my God, I should have done the -10. I should have done the -10. I mean, Ferrari, McLaren owners, Red Bull owners truly in the mud. Where did that science lap come from? They did not show the science was on a second lap. I thought he was done. He made a mistake and didn't improve, and then he just did another lap for fun. What did Max do? Oi, 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 oi. I mean, yes, Sainz is third, so I mean, if you went Sainz over Piastri, you're fine. Max hit the wall and is P6. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, I wish I took the -10 now that Piastri is P2. I did not think Piastri was going to outperform Norris. If anything, I thought Norris would be P2 and Piastri P4. Knew he took his notes away. Charles Leclerc pole. You love to see it. You love to see it. Please win tomorrow. I mean, for my team, I guess it couldn't have gone much better. But I wish I took the -10 now. I wish I took the -10. Surely Sainz get a grid penalty for some random thing and starts on the pit lane? I doubt it. I doubt it, Laura. Or is it Iara? I think it's Iara. Because I think all YouTube names start with an I. So I don't think it's Laura, I think it's Iara. Oh my god. Alright, that's that. Wow. What do you think final fix Stroll for Ocon Albon? Don't do it. Don't do it. It's a bait. Steven. Don't do it. Well, Albon's P9? You're gonna final fix for 2 points. Don't do it. Keep the final fix for later. You can earn so much more points. You won't get the price increase. It is lowercase. Okay, so it's Laura. You're the only person with a lowercase name. Literally the only one. Oh no, never mind. Sayed had one as well. Whoops. Alright, so it's Laura. That makes sense. So yeah, Piastri have been quite steady. Probably most underrated driver. Yeah. Whew. Yeah. So don't use your final fixes, guys. I don't think there's any driver unless you have Checo as your DRS boosted driver. I think the final fix for Leclerc. That's the only final fix I would use. There's no other final fix that's worth it. There's no other final fix is worth it. If you get like an Albon or a Yuki Tsunoda in, they're gonna get like 4 or because you won't get the qualifying points, you will only get the race points. They'll get like 4 or 2 points, and they might crash, and you might cry. I'm absolutely screwed as a Red Bull owner. Yeah, you look pretty cooked for this race. You look pretty cooked for this race. Sorry to say. You just gotta pray they take the first, second, and third fastest pit stop. Ay. I wish I did the -10 for Piastri. It would have been the right choice, but I did not think Piastri had a P2 in him. I thought Leclerc would have P1 or P2 locked down, but with Max Verstappen on P6, that's a big surprise. And then Piastri being faster than both Sainz and Norris, I did not see that, and Verstappen, I did not see that coming. I thought Piastri would be like a P5, so it's a one-stopper. It's impossible. Well, Perez might pit like 3 times to take fastest lap. So, nothing's impossible. If Charles Leclerc has fastest lap and Perez is P18, I think they pit him to just take the point away from Charles Leclerc. It's very possible. Wow. Thanks for the stream today. I changed Red Bull after listening to you. There you go. People forget that this is a home race for Oscar too. That's so funny. That's actually so funny. Alright, we watching... am I staying? Am I watching the FA Cup? FA Cup started up again. Honestly, just pass it around the back, boys. Just pass it around the back. I need to go switch shirts, though, because when I have this shirt on, nothing, well, happens. It was the shirt switch. You saw Leclerc was useless in Q1, Q2. I removed the Ferrari shirt for the United shirt. And I'm chilling. Leclerc surely gets driver of the day now. Yeah, I mean, if he finishes the race, he gets driver of the day for sure. Oh, sorry, I just hit the mic. My God, what a stream! What a stream! We better than last week's, honestly. Better than last week's. We did like, what was the peak? Like 169. Nice. Peak viewers. And then over the watch along, we were like at around 38, 40 viewers. That's fantastic. Fantastic. Father and son duo on the front row. True. True. Alright. As much as I would love to stay and watch Man United drop a 2-0 lead in the FA Cup final, I have places to be, so I have to get ready and shower and things like that, so I'm just going to have the FA Cup on in the background. Thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you so much for hanging out, all the questions. It was a great time. So I'm going to call it now. I will have 2 videos by the minimum for the Canada Grand Prix. And then hopefully I'll be here for a deadline stream for Canada as well. I will know a bit closer to whether I can actually make that or not. We will see. It's Canada's early is it late night? When is Canada? When is Canada? I have places to be. Sleep? Yep. Definitely better than last week. Very active and fun. Thank you so much, Evie. Thank you so much. Yeah, and everything worked today. I think everything worked today. Yeah, we'll see. I have to look when Canada is time-wise and things like that. So, thank you, Prasanjit. You were here for most of it. Great stream. Fun talking F1. It's fun talking F1 with all of you. So yeah. If you want to see those videos will be out coming 2 weeks. It will be videos about the Canadian Grand Prix, and then probably, hopefully, maybe a deadline stream for Canada as well in 2 weeks' time. So thank you so much for watching. I'm Rain. This is my channel where I discuss fantasy Formula 1 and maybe some Euro fantasy as well. I will see you next time. Goodbye.